Hi, this is Loren Allen, and you're listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays.
Welcome everybody to 90 Day Fiance Fridays with the whole crew, minus Gina, who's in charge of the Triple X Beast occupation reveal, but she's not here yet. But we're not going to that till later. But here with George, Coco, and obviously JLP. So welcome everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hi guys, what's going on?
Hi guys. So we were just talking about how Fremont Street is a crazy, ridiculous place, right? And the last time Coco was there, I was there, but then she was there tonight. And we found out tonight that Coco was not wearing panties on Fremont Street tonight. And she was thinking of doing the zip line. So we were talking about a golden shower zip line for some reason.
Yeah, we were. I mean, like, you know what? I was on Fremont for 7 hours, George. I've been there since like 1 p.m. I just got home.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then you know what's just so weird? After I went and like got a little drinky, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go say a prayer to Pope Francis. So I went to some random church that I've never seen. And I was like in this mini skirt.
You went from Fremont, which is like hell, to like a church, which is the
Wait
opposite.
a second.
I was wondering because she said she was at mass, but then I heard all this
Did you go to a
pantyless skirts and stuff.
Did you go to mass pantyless? Yes. Wait, were you
Yes, I'm Jewish.
Or-
Reply to me.
so you went to mass with no panties on?
No, and I was on my knees.
Oh.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
That is
So like, cause I'm a Jew, so like, I this is not a joke. Like, this actually happened. I like did the whole thing with the holy water. I was like, oh my god, it burns.
well, it's ironic that you went to Fremont Street, the Botcherous Street, and then immediately after you went to mass. That's funny because I grew up down south, and the people that were like, I don't know if this is like a southern thing everywhere, but everybody would go out on Friday and Saturday night and get drunk and hook up with people, and then Sunday morning, well, we went to church on Saturday, but on Sunday morning they would all
Yeah.
go to church and repent for all of the horrible debaucherous things they did the night before. And when I was in Vegas, I did notice there was a lot of churches.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I did it was for Pope Francis to say a prayer to Pope Francis.
As long
Yes.
as long as you didn't squirt at any time, I think.
Dude, and I was like, and I was okay, and I was already tipsy when I went in there, and I was like, oh my god, Coco, don't fucking laugh. Whatever you do not laugh. Because like I was like literally on my knees in this short mini skirt, and I was wearing like hooker heels too.
And then did you have like a contact high from Fremont Street from the weed?
Oh, yeah.
No, actually, I didn't smell any. It was weird,
That's weird when the whole
right?
Yeah, that's strange.
I mean, most of the time I was in the casino most of the time, so
Yeah.
but
Photo you posted.
no.
I saw the photo you posted of your significant other.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I saw
Someone was like, someone asked me, they're like, oh, is that your grandfather? And I'm like, no, but sometimes I call him that.
that's funny because
It's true.
I think that he looks way too young for you, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Like-
right?
Well,
He's
no,
a
he has
little
a
on the
very
young
young, he's a
side.
very young soul.
He's on the young side for Coco.
He is. He is.
Mhm.
Anywho.
So yeah, should we get into like 90-day stuff or what?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Might as well,
yes.
might as well start with a tell-all because we didn't do like a tell-all wrap-up show because I was kind of disappointed with the tell-all.
Yeah, I was ready to do one, and then you were like, "Nah, we're not doing that." It was kind of boring. So yeah, we didn't do it because you felt like they let us down.
Yeah.
It just took the wind out of my sails because I was expecting like gangbusters like the first episode with the shoe throwing and shit. I was expecting and I was expecting like Matt to be on for more than like 5 minutes. And I was expecting to like see some like them eating Gino's cake and some bunch of other shit. So I was just thoroughly disappointed. And I was like, you know what? Fuck, it's not really worth it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was cut short for some reason. Like there's a lot of stuff was edited out.
Mhm.
You know, I was expecting a lot more action, but it ended like you said, ended like in a sour note. Like, you know, for something to be 5 parts long, you would expect more action.
Well, the way
I'm sorry.
it was like, I don't know, like I felt like like I said before, it was like a firework that was a dud. It didn't go off. Like I was just
Yeah, yeah.
all of the build up to nothing. It was just really crazy to me. And I don't know, I'm beginning to think that maybe there was a lot of footage that got cut.
Yeah, it seemed that way. I feel like there was stuff missing.
Well, yeah, because when Matt came out, there was clearly way more than that they needed to talk to him about and ask him about. And I was like, why would they only use like 2 minutes of footage of him being on there? Because we know that he was actually there. Like we know what was going on. So the idea that they cut it so short was really odd to me. And we've been watching Jasmine crash out on Instagram this week and her losing it, and she's begging people to leave her alone and she doesn't want to be bothered anymore. And she's been posting that she doesn't love Gino, she doesn't love Matt, she just wants to be by herself. So I think Jasmine has finally realized that selling your soul for $2,500 an episode is not actually worth it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, just it was just. I'm trying to remember though. After the Matt segment, what did they? Sorry to change the subject, but like, what did they like throw to after Matt was on?
Let me look at my tweets because I tweeted the whole thing because I remember when their segment ended, I was Florian and Stacy. They
Yeah.
showed it to Florian and Stacy, and then the counselors.
Oh yeah, and then like I don't know why they brought the counselors on. That was totally stupid.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, I think that Florian definitely let Reba have it.
Hmm.
He was like, all of this happened because of you. You told him to do this. And she was like, well, I didn't actually, push him to do it. And then Jasmine's like, I didn't push him. And I was like, well, you basically said if it's this or nothing, in my opinion, that's like pushing somebody to do something. If you give them 1 hour, you kind of
Wasn't she also practicing polyamorous relationship? So she like kind of pushed that up on Jasmine too.
well, yeah, I feel like she brought it up and because she's like, well, no, it's not my job to tell people what to do. And I was like, ma'am, that's literally your job. You're a sex counselor.
Yeah, it was weird. Like the Reba chick, like on the tell-all, it seemed like she was taking like zero accountability for any of like the guidance she gave.
She made it seem like she didn't give them any guidance at all because she was like, I didn't tell you that that's what you should do. And she's like, and it's not my job to give you advice on what to do. And I was like, yes, it is. People come to counselors because they need guidance. That's literally the fucking definition of
No,
the.
for sure. I mean, here's the thing. They don't have to take the advice. It's just give it to them. But, most of the time, you're going to take your therapist's advice because you think they know what the fuck they're talking about.
Like I just hope if I'm assuming they're going to do a Last Resort season 3, so I hope they don't bring back Reba. Sorry to
No.
slam her, but
No, why be sorry? She's awful.
You
True.
saw how she went running toward Jasmine at the end and started, affirmation talk about how she was okay and that don't worry about the relationship, being pregnant by somebody else and all that shit.
yeah, she was so meat riding Jasmine.
Yeah, she went over there to give her a trophy for her behavior.
But I did like that one. It was a screenshot that I posted on my tweets and on Instagram. The one where it was like Jasmine had like the duck face and she was like, I'm the worst. They're gonna say I'm the worst human being in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was actually hilarious because we did. That's literally what we said.
Yeah, everybody thinks she's a piece of shit.
Well, but that's the thing. I was like, Jasmine, we don't think that you're the worst human being in the world. We know that you're the worst human being in the world. I was like, we're not speculating this. You spelled it out to us in like bold italics. Like it's so obvious that you're a horrible human being. You're sitting on the stage, pregnant, married with another man's baby and taking zero responsibility for any of it. Like, and I'm not saying that Gino is innocent, Jasmine's innocent, everybody has fault. But it's like if you don't want to be with somebody, you don't get pregnant by somebody else while you're still with them. You end like there's a way to do things. So the fact that and also I had a real issue with the way Matt was like, well, I'm not a bad guy and I'm not a homewrecker. And I was like, so can you explain how your baby got in her? Because because that's kind of the definition of a homewrecker. Your baby is in his wife. That's
Yeah.
a homewrecker. Like I don't know what people think a home wrecker is, but if your baby is in his wife's stomach, you wrecked their home. Whether it was a happy home or not, that's irrelevant. You wrecked their home.
I think the worst part was when she said that she would go sleep with Matt and then come home and bring cheeseburgers for Gino.
I'm wondering if that was like said for like.
No, she said. You remember she was like, "What do you?" They were like, "What do you mean you bring cheeseburgers?" Oh, because that's all he tells me to bring him when I'm with Matt. He's like, "Oh, just bring me some cheeseburgers." She was dead serious about that shit.
I know, but I feel like that could have been
Yeah, that could have been
said
scripted,
for
but
like meme purpose.
Jesus Christ, I mean, come on.
That was rude, but I think it's scripted because Gino said that this only lasted for 2 full weeks.
Mhm.
Right? Because he was like, it worked fine for 2 weeks and then it stopped working. So yeah, I don't think, that the cheeseburger thing was a thing. I think she was trying to humiliate Gino as much as possible. Like saying, oh yeah, he gave him permission to bang me as long as he bought him a double cheeseburger with bacon. Like I think she was really going out of her way to try to
That's what it sounded like. Yeah, because they asked him, Gino, what are you getting out of it? And she said cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Just real quick not to harp on something stupid, but let me harp on something stupid. So that post with the Jasmine, the live tweet of mine where the screenshot, it says she said Jasmine is quoted as saying like I'm the worst human being on earth. That was like one of those screenshots I took, and then it like when people lift my because when I I know JLP live, George, JLP, all of us, we all live tweet. So that was like a live tweet I did with that screenshot, and then that screenshot it got lifted and it like went everywhere. So but I knew it was my photo, so my photo it was on like Reddit and it was on a bunch of other like Instagram bloggers accounts. But at the same time, this is one instance where I didn't care. People like lifted my screenshot and shared it everywhere because literally it's saying that Jasmine is the worst human being on earth. So I was like, if y'all want to steal my photo and share it everywhere, go ahead. I don't want any credit. It's all good.
She accurately described herself for the first time, which I was very happy with. I was like, look at you being accurate with yourself.
And then, so there's a couple other posts I shared where there's this one account on Twitter. Their username is like "Shut Up 90 Day Fiancé is on," and then they posted a picture of Matt, and their caption was, "He doesn't love Jasmine. She's just pregnant with his baby. They tried to slide."
Yeah, I saw that.
There was that one, and then the other one I posted, which was like, I forget the name of the chick. Was from like who's like like a Nene or something. It was like the reality star.
He leaks.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, Nene. Is she from the Housewives? No, she's
Housewives.
Yeah. So then there's another meme I posted on my Instagram where it's saying like quote, it's just quoting or I think it's quoting Matt. And the quote is, "She's carrying my child, so I love her."
Yeah, I saw that.
So like that was Matt saying on the tell-all, like, yeah, I love her, but mainly because I don't have a choice because she's carrying my child.
Well, he also said earlier, because they were like, how did you feel when you found out Jasmine was pregnant? And he was like, oh, scared. He's like, I've been running from like having children and relationships and marriage my whole life. So this is scary. So he was pretty honest about it. He was like, yeah, I ain't trying to be a dad. I'm not trying to be a baby daddy. He basically made it very, very clear that this was not what he wanted and he doesn't love her. Like, he's pretty honest. Like, he didn't come out there and lie. He literally said what was going on.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. It's like, what it reminds me of? I think it's a lot of relationships where it's like, it's like a serious, I'm just speaking in general terms, not 90 Day, but it could be like a serious relationship, but then it's like the guy, he has like cold feet as far as marriage, but then he like knocks her up. And then he's like, oh, well, now that you have my baby, I guess I have no choice but to marry you. So that's like a lot of marriages end up like that.
Do you guys think that him and Jasmine are going to be on any more 90 Day shows?
Well, yeah, according to George and I, there's already a whole season filmed and ready to go.
Oh, okay. Because I would imagine if he wasn't going to get any more 90 Day fame, he would have probably just kicked her to the curb a long time ago. Because I think he was just in it for the 90 Day fame, to be honest.
Well, I'm not convinced that they're still together. And I think maybe the way that he acted at the tell-all, and that's one of the reasons why they cut a lot of the footage. Because, he kind of was very aggressive. He called Gino a senior citizen. He called Rob a cuck. I had to look up a cuck. Did y'all know what a cuck was?
Yeah, a cuck is somebody that gets played out.
Oh my God, of course, everybody knows that.
Come on, George.
George, you're from the South. You don't know what a cuck is?
No, he was
It's like the majority of people that are all from the South are cucks.
really.
Don't ask me how I know this. I think the
I had no idea because he was like, he's a grown man. You don't need to be his cuck. And I was like, okay, Google, I need a little help here because I remember.
yeah, that's just the and it's a huge fetish. It's just guys like to watch their women getting fucked.
Yeah. Yeah,
I totally
that's a
believe
cuck,
Gina is
all
one.
right.
By the way, I totally believe Gina is one of them.
He could be. He has the potential to
He
be
gives
one.
me cuck energy. I don't know why. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
right?
It's just like I literally can imagine him with his little hat, and he takes it slowly off while he's like jerking it in the room with them.
Just sitting in a corner, right?
Yeah, that's literally. He has a special chair. Okay, it's called a
A
cuck
special cuck
chair.
chair, yeah.
They have them in all hotel rooms across the nation.
Just sitting there in obscurity, butt naked with his hat on.
Yeah, like I literally, this is like what I'm imagining. So, I mean, it would not surprise me.
It would not surprise me either. He has cuck energy for sure.
Totally.
Oh, well, see, I learned something new. I mean, but I Googled, it didn't say that specifically, so I didn't know exactly what we were talking about. But now that y'all say that, I do feel like if there was a movie, I don't remember what movie it was, where the guy wanted to pay someone to bang his wife so he could watch. I don't remember what it was. I feel,
Yeah, it's a cuck.
yeah, that does give a little G.
Well, wasn't when I remember like months ago when I did that post on about the what's it called the 90-day Hunt for Love show where I posted a story. Let me just say allegedly up front. There was a story in my one of my T posts where Tim was with Jennifer and there was like a cuck story where he liked being in the corner while Jen was doing stuff.
Yeah, that was, yeah, you did bring that up. And
Tim was a cuck?
Yeah, Tim allegedly he was
Allegedly.
a cuck to Jennifer.
Are we? Oh, yeah, allegedly. But come on now.
Yeah, he gives
Come on
cuck
now.
energy too.
yeah, he does.
Cuck energy. I mean, he gives some
No,
type of energy.
I don't think he gives cuck. Tim doesn't give cuck energy. He gives
No.
some. Yeah, no, he definitely doesn't give cuck energy. He might be into other stuff, but no, I don't think he'll sit there and watch.
Cuck, cock. We got it mixed up.
Yeah, yeah.
Allegedly.
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 So I'm trying to think anything else interesting on the tell-all.
Everybody was talking about Florian, how he some people were saying like what's he has anger management. Some people were saying that he's right. Some people were saying that they like the way he put the therapist in her place and telling her that she caused the damage. Some people were saying he's a raging lunatic and that Darcy, I mean whatever her name is, Stacy should leave him.
Well, okay. I think that Florian, I wouldn't say that he's a lunatic, but he definitely doesn't have a filter. And I also think that his tone of voice makes it seem like he's being aggressive also.
Yes, his passion, he debates with passion, so it makes it seem like he's arguing. Like when some people trying to get their point across, they feel like they not being heard, so he elevates his voice. But he wasn't like being like disrespectful. He was trying to get his point across, but everybody was ganging up on him. Even his own wife was like, "Oh, sit down, be quiet, be quiet."
Yeah, like he came across. Well, first of all, it seems like he's one of those guys. He doesn't bullshit for the show. Like he's a straight shooter. So he came across like the one guy on the show out of the whole cast where he was not down for the bullshit. Like he's not gonna like sugarcoat stuff and he's gonna talk his shit and he's gonna trash the bullshit therapist because everyone knows they're bullshit therapists and he's the first person to admit that they're bullshit therapists. So I actually appreciated his like realness.
Yeah, he's not down for the shenanigans. It's I guess from where he comes from, he hasn't seen people do that kind of stuff, like open their marriage up and stuff like that. That was new to him, so he was pissed.
He also told Ari to go to sleep. A lot of people were like, he can't talk to her that way, and that's so disrespectful, and he doesn't respect
Can we all agree Florian's a troll? Like he trolls people for like literally, if you see him on Instagram, like literally that's what he does when he said to Gina, congratulations on being a stepfather. Like I was like, oh my God, like this is his personality. Like he's just a fucking troll.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody helped him with that, but yeah, he
He said
seems
it
like
so many times though. Like he said shit like that to Gino like all the time. And I'm just like, I'm just like, oh my God. Like when he said that the day the news broke, I literally died. I was like,
yeah, that was
oh my
crazy.
God.
Yeah, but
Oh,
Gene is also one of the few cast members with a good.
with a sense of humor, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see Florian and Sarper do a pillow talk, like unfiltered.
Mhm.
They would make it interesting because neither of them, you know what I'm saying? They don't hold back.
Subtitles, because I can barely understand anything they say. I would need subtitles just so I can know what's going on. But yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, none of them hold back. That's what we need to bring back to the pillow talk. A little bit of honesty, because I feel like the pillow talkers, they just side with anybody and agree. You saw Tim and Veronica besties with Megan.
Wait,
Megan, what's her name?
the one with Jessica's friend?
Yeah. She was giving them the tea and stuff. I was half asleep, but they were like, "Oh yeah, give me your phone number." Tim and Veronica on Pillow Talk,
Mm.
talking shit with Megan.
No, I don't really watch unless.
I don't know. I didn't really watch, but I was like I said, I was full half asleep, and I was listening to it because sometimes I can't find the remote control, whatever.
Mhm.
And yeah, they were keying with Megan and Tim and Veronica
Well,
exchanging numbers.
Megan's going to be a topic later.
Yeah,
I mean, we can get into it, but the only thing I was going to say about Megan is she's like a social worker, right?
yeah.
Yeah, apparently she's a social worker. I think her and Jessica have very similar jobs, if not the same job, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I think I think their training is very similar, whether you're going to be a social worker, or a therapist, or a counselor. It's like you kind of have the same training. So I guess it's all kind of the same boat. It's just depending on what your final occupation is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think which makes sense. They do everything together. They go everywhere together. They go on cruises together. They try to bang one together. Like they're doing stuff. They're always doing stuff together. So it makes sense that they would have the same training and job and everything. Also,
Or
I wanted to bring up Jasmine made a comment not tonight, on the tell all. She was like, Florian, your behavior is disgusting. Like when he was talking to Ari and when he was talking to the therapist. And I thought it was really, really funny because I was like, says the woman who abandoned her kids in Panama and is having another kid with a man that's not her husband while you're sitting on the stage. I was like, but you're talking about people's behavior being disgusting. I was like, it's kind of crazy how she literally is so self-righteous that she can do anything she wants. She literally assaulted a man with a shoe twice earlier in the show, but she's telling people how disgusting her behavior was. The hypocrisy for me was just so high, it kind of pissed me off.
I think she's starting to reach her breaking point, according to her rants on Instagram. And if she is coming on any future shows, it might just get worse for her. So be careful how she should have been careful how she approached her storyline, because she's getting a lot of hate from this.
Well, I don't think she realized the amount of hate she was gonna get by getting pregnant and having a baby and do because I think she said online she was like what's hurting her the most is people are calling her unborn baby at the time names and sending her like life-threatening messages. Like I don't think she realized how real the fandom is when it comes to the show. Because some people are like, oh, this is just scripted drama, this is just fun. Other people take it very seriously. And they're like, because at the end of the day, these people really were married. There's paperwork to prove it. They really were in relationships. This isn't like a scripted acting show. So a lot of people are like, well, she shouldn't have been sleeping around on her husband. And if you don't want to be with your husband, you want to be with someone else, you should divorce your husband and be with somebody else. So I don't think she realized that she was going to be.
She didn't realize that they were going to call her a whore. She thought people were going to be like, oh my God. But when she started seeing all that attack online, calling her a whore, you a hoe, that's hoe activities. Oh, she's always been cheating. She's a hoe. She's a hoe. She was living in her ex-boyfriend's building and doing this and doing that. She didn't want to be called the hoe. She just wanted to say, oh, she's having a baby from another man.
You know what they say, if you don't want to be called a hoe, you have to refrain from hoe activities.
Oh, she's way past that.
It's called activities, George.
Activities.
Hoe activity. So if she didn't want to be called a hoe, she had to get out of the hotivities because, we call it like we see it. If the dick that's putting babies in you ain't your husband's, use a hoe, right? It is what it is. Like,
And you know what's crazy, George? There's a lot of people defending her behavior.
that's even more crazy.
That's even worse. That's people that are coming like keyboard warriors that are going to war for Jasmine, insisting that she did that because Gino wouldn't fuck her. And that's what you do. And I'm like, so that's what you do when your husband doesn't fuck you. You go fuck somebody else and get pregnant.
Because I know a lot of married people who tell me they just don't fuck each other. So if that was the reaction to someone not touching you, because I know marriage, if you really want to have sex, you're not supposed to be getting married. Married people don't be having sex like that.
What?
If that
Is a lie.
That's a crock of shit.
Only on birthdays.
wait,
That's a crock of shit,
are
George.
you saying that people that are married have sex regularly?
Yeah. Well, this married couple here does.
But you
Can I interrupt?
just got married, though.
Theo, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a celebrity guest in the chat.
Ooh, I'm already here. What are you talking about?
I don't know. We have a super celebrity guest.
Oh.
Oh, hello, super celebrity guest. Reveal yourself.
How you doing?
Oh my God, it's Loren.
Is
Is
it Loren?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
How you guys doing tonight?
And we missed
Hey,
you.
Loren.
Oh my God, Loren, how have you been? We've missed you.
Yes.
Well, okay, so I got in big trouble the first time, right? But it's been a while, and they don't care about me anymore, so I can do this again.
Okay,
And
great.
Loren, get up close to your mic so we can hear you loud and clear.
I'm sorry. I'm at Prismo Beach looking for a place to like sleep outside.
What?
Yeah, I just drove from Las Vegas to California because I'm going back to Washington because I got a job living inside a hotel. So I become Faith now.
Wait, so your new job, you're going to be living at a hotel that you work at?
Yeah.
Literally. Oh my God, that's exactly what Faith is doing. That's great. That's amazing.
No.
Yeah, we missed you because you're the one that put our podcast on the map.
You did.
Really?
Yeah.
We miss your crazy stories.
It was.
Well, I got plenty. You guys probably have like a bajillion questions about crazy stories. I mean, that's a lot has happened.
Oh,
Clearly a lot has happened because we thought that you were still with Faith. And now we found out like that's not a thing. So like clearly a lot.
I posted my entire trip in February in video diary on my page.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at first when we saw that you were there, we didn't know who you were there for.
Okay.
I just made assumptions, which was my fault. I shouldn't have done that, but
You just asked me.
well, yeah, we could have just asked because I was just like, oh, well, he's over there. And because we thought that you were still pursuing Faith because we had seen some things online where.
No, I was when I first landed.
Oh, so you were.
Yeah, at first.
But that changed quickly?
Yeah. Like, okay, so when I was first filming with Faith in the Philippines, I blanked. When I came back to America, I just hated it so much that I'm like, Faith is the only answer. But when I think back about it, I actually tried to break up with Faith a couple times while filming the first season. And production was kind of like, no, you can't just go out and find another girl. And I'm like, okay, I guess not.
Not in the middle of filming. Like that would literally cause chaos because they already were building a storyline between you and Faith. So did you actually have someone that you could have switched over the story with?
Oh, I had like 7 other girls that were like, hey, listen. And that's why when I left the Philippines, so after the knife scene, I still had like 3 days, literally just hanging out there before I had to go back on the plane. And I met with 3 other girls on those 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but they didn't do that obviously because it wasn't part of the story.
Yeah, they cut that all out.
By the way, Loren, like, are you since you could talk about anything, you can talk about like Carlos or what?
Who's Carlos? Oh, my wife, Wendy. Yeah, my second ex-wife.
Yeah, tell us about Carlos. What was that?
Okay, so what happened was they all knew about her existence, right? And they were like, we don't like her. It's not a good plan. It doesn't look good for your character that we made for you. And I'm like, listen, like when I come back to Vegas, if I'm not with Faith anymore, she's my ticket to housing. And, you know, they're like, well, you can't just be hanging out with another trans woman. And I'm like, well, I mean, if we're done filming, like, who cares? They're like, well, we care. And so I went to, I came back to Vegas. Me and Faith broke up. So the deal was me and Wendy are like a thing for like a while, you know, however long. And so I land, I give Faith, or not Faith, Wendy, all of the money that I had. I'm like, listen, this is all I have. Go get us your Mexican connections and get an apartment. Right?
Is Wendy Carlos?
Yes.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, she's trans, so I don't use her real name.
My bad. I didn't mean.
It's all good. It's all good. Everyone knows her by that. So yeah, I give her all my money and she disappears and she comes back. She's like, Lorenzo, I need more money. And I'm like, I don't have any more money, Wendy. What do you mean? She's like, I spent it. I'm like, okay, well, that was like housing money. And so she's like, okay, here's the deal. You can live with me and my family, but we have to be married. And I'm like, what? And then it's like, yeah, okay, I don't want to be homeless. And so I got married a second time, so I didn't sleep on the streets.
But like, what was in it for them to be married to you?
Well, I'm pretty sure she's not a citizen.
Okay.
So we only talk using Google Translate, and she only responds to what she wants to respond to.
Wait. So she doesn't speak one lick of English?
Like now she kind of does. When we met, no, like zero.
So, and I'm confused. So how did y'all come to the conclusion to get married if you were barely communicating? Because you said she wouldn't even answer certain questions. So there's still to this day things that you don't know about her?
Oh, I have no clue anything about this woman. All I know is that she helped me get housing for like 9 months. And then my boss, Derek Daniels, the guy from the first season, the Hawaiian guy's like, well, you got to move out. You got to break up with her and move in with me. And I'm just like, what? And so I've been doing that for a while, but then he just kicked me out like a month ago.
Well, so the guy whose couch you bled on finally kicked you out?
So he didn't. Okay, so what happened was he went to like this guy's house in Texas, and he came back and he's like, I have a life-changing, you know, like something happened in his life that like changed his viewpoints. And he's like, you know, you being here is because I'm a dying old man and I don't like that idea. So you have to move out. And I'm like, all right. Because he had me move in to like cook and clean and like be his assistant. And then he just stopped. He's like, you're done. And I'm like, wow, okay. You had me like leave by what?
He moved you in so you could take care of him?
Yes. And then as soon as he felt like he was done with me, he kicked me out.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go back to the living with the woman, Wendy. So
Okay.
what was it like living with her? Because I remember when you told me when you were living with the woman in Washington State and it was craziness. So like what was the environment like living there with her and her family?
Oh my God. So it was like 2-bedroom. No, that one was 3-bedroom. And so it was Wendy, her sister, someone who probably is her cousin, her mom, and then 3 children. So like, it was just like Mexican music blasting like 24 hours a day. And like, I don't know what's going on. The only person who speaks English is the 10-year-old who's like horribly racist. And like, cause he's like the man of the family, has like control of the hierarchy. And he like controlled like what was done and what was said. It was a trip. And they kept charging me money to like store food in cupboards and cook. So I quit cooking and eating.
What?
Yeah, they're like, that's an extra fee. And I'm like, I'm not giving you extra $100 to use the kitchen. Like, no.
$100 to use the kitchen?
And then it was a $25 a month fee to use the cupboards or fridge. So if I wanted to store the food and cook it, that's $125 extra.
Did you have somewhere that you could sleep? Because there's a lot of people there. Where were you sleeping?
Usually I slept on the floor so I wasn't too close to Wendy, but we had opposite schedules. So like I would come home and she would go to work. So we never even saw each other.
Okay.
Did you just pay like overall rent or what?
Yeah, rent was, I don't remember right now, but then Wendy's always like, oh, Lorenzo, I don't have money for rent. And I'm like, oh my God. And then part of like, the deal was we had a joint bank account. So for like months, she would just like dip into that account and I just have all my money missing. And I'm like, Wendy, I need money. And she's just like, it's okay, Lorenzo. And I'm like, Wendy, no, it's not. Like, where the hell's all my money?
Wait, so since your name is Lauren, she calls you Lorenzo?
Lorenzo.
Yeah.
But okay, Lauren, were you having sex with her?
We tried and I can't get it up for her.
Oh.
Not my type.
So
Okay, not your type. Got it. Okay.
So we tried to have sex just because, like, why not? Right? It's like she's there, I'm there.
So who initiated the divorce proceeding?
So like, I don't know. I moved out and the show was kind of like, hey, if you want season 2, you got it. You can't be married. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense. And then technically I still wanted to marry Faith at that time. So I'm like, I probably should be divorced when I come back to see you. When the show told me I'm allowed to go back to the Philippines, which was February. So everything had to be lined up with whatever it is they wanted me to do, because I already messed up by getting married for housing, because it's better I'm homeless than to do that.
So when you married her for housing, was that so she could get a green card or like
She's here legally. She's here on political asylum. So like she already has like essentially a type of green card.
okay.
Yeah. So I honestly have no idea. And then can you even get a green card in 9 months?
I don't see now, not under this administration. Like I don't know like what was going on before, but like not under this administration. I don't even think you can get a green card if you're an American anymore. Like they don't give them out anymore. So I don't even think.
So, but Lauren, it sounded like you jumped through several hoops to kind of appease production for a potential season 2, but it seems like they fucked you over or something.
Yeah. Okay. So they said, like, if anyone finds out about Wendy, you can't be in season 2. Now, they told me that I have to be divorced to get back on the show so I can actually marry Faith, if that's what's going to happen. I said, that makes sense. But when you get divorced, that's public record. And I can't hide public record. So as soon as I got divorced, as I was instructed, of course someone found out because it's public record. And then basically the day before, which was like December 27th, was the last day I got a phone call from them. December 28th, the divorce finalized and went into like public record, and someone found out about it, and the show refused to contact me ever since.
Oh, so as soon as the news broke, they were like, "Oh, we're not fucking with you. We're not touching you with a 10-foot pole."
Because a political asylum with a green card is the same as illegal, I'm pretty sure is what they're thinking.
Oh,
But it's very much different.
so
Because
that's
she's legally here.
pretty much screwed you over.
Yeah, but I just wanted housing.
No,
Well, were you? Could you have gotten an annulment? Was that an option?
In the state of Nevada, it's different
Mhm.
because they want that money. They don't have.
Yeah,
it costs
you're right. You're right. You're right. I just moved to Nevada, so yeah.
Because I was gonna say if you would have gotten it annulled, then it would have been looked like you never got married. So that would have worked in your favor, but it was in Nevada.
But Lauren, what I meant from my earlier comment was when the news broke that you were getting divorced from Wendy / Carlos, that ruined your chances for a season 2 on 90 Day.
Also, I think Faith wasn't okay with the idea. And so some of the things she may have said to production may have led to them also not wanting to do it. I don't know. It's a whole mess of stuff, and me and Faith can't communicate, even though it's not a language thing. I don't know exactly what happened there.
Oh, okay.
It's a shame because we loved you on the show, and you should take some kind of like solace in knowing that the current season 11 is one of the worst boring seasons ever, and your season was pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
it's a hard act to follow. Come on now.
Exactly.
it's very true.
I told him, just put me on like random things. Like, hey, Loren shows up in this like in a different TLC show.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If, like, you show, like, if they just cast you to show up at this new place, the Hunt for Love place.
What the hell is he doing here? And it's like, well, you're stuck with me. Come on.
Just have random Loren cameos everywhere.
I heard on the Hunt for Love, the Mexico singles house resort show, that they required all the I don't know if contestants is the right word, but let me just run with it. They required all the contestants to take STD tests.
Yeah,
I bet you, because they didn't test me.
I think that you started that trend, Lauren. I think now, because there was an actual on-screen gonorrhea diagnosis. I think, yeah, you started this trend of, oh no, we have to make sure that, everybody doesn't,
Yeah, we don't want to get sued for somebody.
During production, though. So, like, they would have had to test me, like, once a week because I had sex, because we had started filming that, like, before Halloween, and I got it on Halloween.
Mhm.
Oh, I see.
The
You would have
person,
already passed,
the person
already passed the initial STD test anyway. You would already passed.
They would have already got, we're already passed the test, and then gonorrhea.
Lauren, like the person you got the gonorrhea from was correct me if my T is correct. I mean, correct me if I'm right or wrong, but was it like a prostitute that let you fuck for free?
Okay, so I was kind of like prostitute, and then she is like majority of the time. But I met her in kind of like a maybe we should do like a camming thing. And so it was kind of like a test run. And then I don't know, she was like, I really like you, so we're not going to cam. And I'm like, all right. And then her friend didn't show up. So it wasn't the three of us. And then we kind of just kept hanging out, but we didn't always have sex.
So wait. I have like questions. So y'all were gonna do a camming show together?
Yes.
Like,
Me and this girl and another girl.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
what, stream mate?
Chatting.
Well, like sex in a hotel. What do you mean? We just have the camera on.
Yeah, I know, but are you gonna if you're gonna be streaming, is it like stream mate, chatterbait, stuff like that? You were
Yeah, it's
thinking-
just like
yeah.
that. Yeah, I would be that
Okay.
guy.
so wait, now I have another follow-up. Have you
Yeah.
ever done something like that before?
So I have like a bunch of like videos and pictures that people buy for me all the time, and I do request. So, like when I was living with Derek, I was doing that like once a week. Someone's like, dress up like this and do this, and I'm like, okay.
Like on what?
No, I have it on like a Google Drive. So like you just send me your email and I send you whatever you want.
Oh, so you get like
It's like a
individual.
Dropbox type thing.
Yeah. But right now I'm too homeless to do it anymore. So
Oh, and then
Oh.
what's it called, Lauren? So what happened with the whole like driving truck situation?
okay, so I go to this Swift Academy, right?
Mhm.
Okay, day one, they're like, okay, it's $9,000. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh,
And they're
Holy
like,
shit.
you'll pass, right? And so talking to a lot of the people, they're like, yeah, we pretty much like they pretty much like let you pass no matter what, because then you owe $9,000. But then they can just fire you right after, even if you suck at driving. So like my backing up is like not very good. I'll eventually get it, but I'm bad at it.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure I got fired because I'm bad with the simulator, not like actually driving. So like I failed simulated driving.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay. So they didn't put you behind the wheel of an actual truck. They put you behind the wheel of a simulator.
Training, I was behind an actual truck. But then in advanced training, the teacher didn't believe that we needed to actually be on the road together. So we just had like a computer version of it. And like the day before I got fired, which was like 2 a.m. because we had like night classes, and I'm like, I'm falling asleep behind the wheel, which is pretty funny. I like ran through, I didn't see a construction zone, and I just kind of like went through it. You know, like you sped in the construction zone, so you're fired. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But like not in real life, like in a simulator.
Mhm.
Did you pay any of the $9,000?
Not yet, but they've definitely called me like 3 times in the week I've been like not at school.
Why would you pay them now if you've been fired? Like, do they think that you're just gonna give them the money?
I keep telling them, like, listen, I'm homeless, jobless, and I pay child support. Like, where's this money coming from? They're like, well, we're just checking in. I'm like, all right, it's been like 3 days, but
Like what? But why did you quit like TJ Maxx if all the other shit wasn't lined up properly?
so I didn't actually quit TJ Maxx. I just kind of was like, hey guys, I can't come in. I'm going to be in Arizona. And they're like, okay, if you want to come back, you can. I'm like, okay, thank you. But okay, so when I started at TJ Maxx, it was like $15.75, right? And then I got my raise because I got like a promotion to $19.75. And then when I came to Las Vegas, it went down to $17.75. And I'm like, that's fine. Then when I went back from the show, it was $15.75. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then when I came back in February, it's $15.05. And I'm like, you guys can't just keep cutting my pay. And they're like, well, we can. And I'm like, what? And so why would I want to go back to TJ Maxx? Every time I go back there, I get my pay cut.
So, well, what's the reason that they can lower your pay? Because I didn't know that you could do that.
Apparently, because it's a new, like, because I was like a leave of absence, I'm a new employee.
Mhm.
So they can just be like, well, we're not going to pay you the same as we did, even though you have the experience. And I'm like, that sucks.
I mean, yeah, because I know all the fans were coming there to get pictures with you, so I figured. And you said your manager didn't mind, so I thought you're like a celebrity in the store.
No, it was pretty fun. Yeah, no, we like all the time. They're like, they'd call me to the front and we'd take pictures and we'd walk around the store.
But
It was great.
it's weird that they're like down for the celebrity part, but then they're cutting your pay.
Well,
Well,
they're also, they don't want to pay me anyway, right?
Mhm.
what he's saying, George, is that every time he left, he had to come back as a new employee. So when you come as a new employee, you're starting from scratch.
Right.
But if you go on a leave of absence, I didn't realize that qualified you as a new employee. I thought it just meant you were on an extended leave.
Well, like apparently the way they did it is they just like, they completely took me out of the system every time. And I'm like, why did you do it that way? And it's probably so they could cut my pay
Mhm.
because they didn't like paying me anyway. They're like, well, you should get paid minimum wage because you're not a coordinator anymore.
And then weren't you considering going back to Washington State?
Which is where I'm going right now.
Okay, so that is what you're gonna do.
And
Yeah, I got a job there. I can't drive there in one day.
oh, so you got a job in Washington State, so you're heading back to Washington. You're not going back to the crazy family that you were living with before, right?
Oh, and I mean, like, I definitely thought about hitting her up, but she has like drug-induced paranoid schizophrenia, so she's like excessively violent. So it's like
heard.
Wait, what?
the lady I lived with before I left
Uh-huh.
for Las Vegas like 3 years ago. Her name
Oh.
is Ann, and she's like a meth addict. So like part of that is like she developed schizophrenia from doing meth. And so like she was just like violent and crazy and believed that she was Jesus. It was a lot. But I did it for like 4 years.
That's an Asian woman.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
that the woman that prayed to like a can of beans?
That was her mom.
Oh, that was her
Oh, that's
mom.
the one I didn't throw out the window.
That's right. That's right. No, she doesn't have paranoid schizophrenia. She's just crazy.
Okay, I
So
see.
what was your breaking point when you knew, you know what? It's not worth living with the couch.
Okay, so Esther, right? The girl from the tell-all was like, listen, if you leave Washington right now, my dad has this house for free and you won't be homeless and you can just live there with me. And I'm like, man, I don't really trust you at all, but I'm just gonna do this anyway. And then I came to Vegas and then I was homeless.
Oh.
It was a really good joke again, because that's like now she's on her 4th time making me homeless.
Oh no.
Wow.
Or like don't fans send you random like things in the mail?
Yeah, I've had to like tell a lot of them like, don't send me anything because it's not going to go anywhere. Like I don't know where you're supposed to send anymore.
And then what happened to weren't you sending out like signed autograph little?
Oh yeah, the little
Yeah, no, I was doing really good with that, but then people kept telling me they weren't showing up. I was just like, what do you mean you're not showing up?
do you
And so I quit doing that, but now I sold my first ever autographed butter knife.
Oh. Okay.
okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I got 2 more in my backpack.
Sorry.
So I eventually will be
How
able
do
to
you autograph a butter knife? I'm curious.
like etch your name into it. I took a screw and I scratched it for like half an hour.
Uh,
Wow.
has your asshole blood lately?
Oh.
No. I haven't been eating that kind of food anymore. I don't have
Oh,
like
that's
the
good.
only way I got the chicken bones is because the girl who gave me gonorrhea said she wanted to go out on a date again.
Mm. Yeah, I liked when you had those. What are they called? Like that ghost pepper.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was rough. I was like, it was hot, and then but like the only part that hurt was because I didn't have milk to like calm it down in my organs.
Mhm.
So that was just like 4 hours of just too much.
Yeah, in the video with like the Hawaiian guy, where he's like, "Oh my God, Loren, did you bleed all over the couch? The fuck?"
Yeah, that
Yeah, that's the guy who kicked me out.
That video is like it's like my favorite Lauren video ever.
It's not even TLC, but they're missing
How
out.
did you? A question. How did you meet that guy?
So okay, so when I came to Vegas, like on the second or third day, the librarian's like, I have a bike group, we should go biking. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I met this guy named John, and John was like, I have friends who do drag, and a few of them are trans if you want to go say hi. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And so I went to my first drag show in Vegas, and I'm like, well, this sucks. And I just kind of started working because I don't really find it entertaining, and I honestly cannot stand it. And I don't like gay bars. And there was no trans girls. And I was like, this is BS. But then I started talking to Taya Mimosa, the one from Thailand who has the giant boobs in the show. Um, and she's like, I have a trans friend who you can meet the next drag show. And I'm like, perfect. So I went to that drag show. She's married, so it's like I'm not doing anything with that girl anyway. But then Derek was like, listen, you're doing really good at helping everyone for no reason. I should pay you for it. But then by the end of like me living with him, he quit paying me for doing the shows. And I'm like, what the hell?
Mm.
Oh, okay. So any news from the baby mama? Because I know you were telling us, some stuff about her lately.
Oh
Anything?
my God. So like I don't think she's listening to this or like it'll get to her fast enough. But CPS called me because other people have been calling besides just me. They're like, we've been getting a lot more reports lately than usual. Usually we only get a couple a month, but now we're getting a lot more. And I'm like, how many CPS calls do you need in a month to like do anything? Like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, so tell us like what you want to do, like what the problems are. And I went to like this huge laundry list of problems. And they're like, well, that's not what we got called for, but thanks for letting us know. And I'm like, well, what the hell did you get called for?
Sorry, no, that's not
Let,
funny.
let's just say allegedly.
Yeah,
Right.
but you said that it's normal for her to get a couple of CPS calls a month.
That's what CPS told me.
That's
But that
insane.
like that's great. Like, what does she do?
You're
I
not.
don't know, like maybe she's like more into drugs and alcohol, and that's what the calls are for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I have no idea. That's just what I'm told from like random people that know her personally that also used to talk to me, but no one talks to me anymore.
Oh. So
She likes to have total control. Like
is
there's no way. Like the
is
moment she finds out someone said something to me, they're gonna get cut off.
is she pursuing you for child support or anything? Like, is she like?
Oh yeah.
When's the last time that you've heard from her?
Um, it was 2 days before I was on this podcast the first time.
Oh, that's the last time. Oh, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And then I was allowed to talk to my daughter on Thanksgiving on a video call with my sister because they happen to be in the same house. And now my family's cut off from seeing my kids.
Well, I imagine she was. I know I posted that video of her, and I know she wasn't too thrilled about that.
Oh, the one where she's cooking a cake and
Yeah,
she can't afford a three-dimensional pinata based cake that's like custom made.
yeah.
That's got to be like $100+ cake. Like I don't know why she feels a kid needs that kind of cake when you can go to the food bank like 3 times a month and you get free cake mix on a regular basis. I remember going with her. Like you
Mhm.
can make it get a damn cake. I know you know how.
True. So you think you'll ever be back on TV or what?
I don't know. So like the TLC contract is 9 months after the final episode of the tell-all. They're not using me at all. And so after those 9 months, technically I can apply for other shows and I could be on something else.
Hmm.
Oh, so are you eyeing any any shows or any castings, or do you have anything in mind that you think you might want to do?
A lot of people tell me Survivor. I
Mhm.
think that'd be so much fun.
I mean, I can see that. You definitely seem like somebody who can survive in any type of conditions, right? Like I definitely the what I know about you is you've survived in some pretty crazy conditions. So yeah, I can definitely see you on Survivor. I
Yeah.
also thought of Naked and Afraid.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
that
like
was actually suggested when I was filming in the Philippines. They're like, you should do a Naked and Afraid here. And I'm like, well, if you guys let me.
well, I feel like you would excel on that. I don't know why. I just feel like you would excel on Naked and Afraid.
I'm not shy about being naked.
No, I was naked so much and they cut it all out. Like I was naked all the time on camera. And they're just like, nope, no, none of that.
You flash the camera guy or what?
No, I would just walk out naked. Because like, okay, so in the morning times they dress you. So when you wake up in the morning in the hotel room, they tell you what to wear for the day so that it matches what they feel like Loren should look like. And so instead of getting dressed every morning, I would just be naked. I'd get my breakfast naked. I would wait for them naked with the door wide open until they finally show up and they tell me this is what you're going to wear.
Oh,
Is it true like that clothes that they pick for you, then at the end of the shoot they confiscate that same clothing and they hold on to it?
Yeah, just in case they need to shoot with it later. So like technically I've gotten a lot of my costumes back,
Mm.
like that they bought for me. Cause like I don't own anything. So almost everything you see me in the show isn't actually mine.
Mm. Yeah, because on the show you're wearing like a lot of Hawaiian shirts and stuff.
Yeah, I just have the one mushroom shirt, but the rest of them are all bought by production.
Oh, I feel like they let you keep it because they felt bad for you.
well, yeah, they let you keep it, but what Lauren is saying is in case they need to do a reshoot,
Mm.
they
Yeah.
onto it until all the production is done. Just in case, like say for instance, they let Lauren take all the clothes home and then he moved to another location and he left a bunch of the clothes at the old place or he doesn't have it anymore. So yeah, they'll hold on to it until all reshoots and all in the moments and everything is filmed. And then after that, they'll usually give it back to him.
Right.
And I heard though that your clothes that they like hold on to or whatever, they don't really wash it, so you just put back on the dirty clothes, right?
I'm pretty sure I didn't really think about it because like I wear the same clothes for like days at a time because I don't have washing machine all the time.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
'Cause we heard from Renee that they don't wash it and they just have you keep wearing the same clothes over and over without
I
washing.
think in the Philippines they had to because it's just so hot.
Mhm.
But for Renee, maybe not. I don't know. I know they have like a steamer, so like it's at least steam cleans.
Hmm. And then what, like when you went to the Philippines earlier this year, who was that one chick that you had a ton of photos with?
Angela.
Mhm.
So I met Angela before I broke up with Faith because Faith wasn't hanging out with me. I'm like, well, if Faith isn't hanging out with me, I'm gonna find someone else to hang out with. And Angela was that person. And now me and Angela will get married soon because she kind of took Faith's place.
Oh.
What's that game plan as far as marrying her and then what? You're going to live in Philippines?
So we can get married online, it turns out this whole time. This whole Thailand plan was so extravagant and unnecessary. We can just go online and do like a video call and get married.
What? Wait. So you
Yeah.
married Faith this whole time on a video
Yep.
call?
100% could have just been done.
But I thought it was illegal to get married in Thailand. So what's different? How did this happen?
So it's only legal in the US, but if we're married, then okay, so Faith had opportunities to come to America, it turns out. But it would have been an extra way to get her to America. But she had job offers to get her here on visas and she declined them.
Oh. Oh.
And that's one of the reasons kind of why I was like skeptical when I came back the second time. I'm like, what do you mean they offered to have you work for them? And she's like, well, it's like a banquet server, not a hotel staff. I'm like, but it's in a hotel. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, but it's a job in America. So you
Mhm.
should take it. And then she's like, well, yeah, but it's not like housekeeping. And I'm like, okay, but you got to take it.
But remember, what's the game plan with the new lady that you said you could marry her over video call? So let's say you do the video call and you're married, and then what's the next move though?
So I go back 2026 and
Mhm.
I'm going to do Lauren's Philippines tour. We're gonna have our actual like in-person wedding in her home city of Zamboanga, and then we're gonna go to all the filming locations and redo the scenes with anyone who wants to come with me.
Well, who's gonna film it though?
People with their phones. It's gonna be like selfie central, like
True.
just anyone. Because I already have some people who are like, well, if you give me a date of the dates you'll be there, I would love to go to a hotel in the Philippines and pretend for the year I'm Faith and freak out over a knife. And I'm like, yeah, it would be fun to reenact, and you just have it forever. Like that'd be your own little magical cameo.
90 Day Superfan said that to you?
Yeah. I have like a few people who are like, as soon as you can afford that ticket, let me know.
Now I've seen you operate on TikTok, and you definitely have like your hardcore sycophant.
I lost my TikTok.
Yeah.
It's gone.
There were some like cute girls talking to you on TikTok too.
Oh, a lot of girls talk to me, but I feel like it's a very female-based show, right? A lot of women watch this show.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would know because, well, George, Coco, Captain Picard, we all know what the fan base is like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of the people I meet in person are like 20 to 60-year-old women,
Yeah.
primarily white.
Mm-hmm.
And none of that falls under what you're looking for.
I mean, so far I've only been like, "Hey, how you doing?" to maybe like 6 of the like 100 people I've met,
Oh wow.
and they were like not interested. And I'm like, "All right, I get it. I'm gonorrhea boy."
Yeah. True. Yeah, it's interesting.
Have you gotten that trademark, Loren?
Yeah, it's on a shirt. I wear it in Fremont.
Got it.
Oh, but you didn't.
I was just on Fremont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I was. I was at Circa.
Lauren, it's a shame you never met Coco, because our very own Coco, because she's like Las Vegas based.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty crazy because I'm always like, who wants to meet in Vegas? I've met this like tabloid guy who keeps telling me he's going to get me all these tabloids, and we do all these weird photo shoots, but I haven't seen it.
What kind of weird photo shoots?
Yeah, what is a weird photo shoot? What
So
is
the first one was like an anti-Trump random person interaction videos.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I just kept talking to people about like how Trump wants to get rid of like trans. And then the second time was like on like St. Patrick's Day. I was dressed up and I just walked around Fremont talking to people dressed weird. And I'm like, this is just bizarre, but he says if he makes money on it, I get some money, but so far nothing.
Mm-hmm.
probably posting the videos and not telling you that he posted them or something? Like, I feel like that's a weird thing that he has you like filming content and then like disappearing. That's really
I
weird.
mean, I have nothing better to do, so I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I get to meet random new people, all right? That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Should we get Lauren to record like a little intro drop for us?
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah, we should, because Lauren, your interview when you were on the show the first time, it really, really opened up a lot for the podcast. And it was stolen. It was literally people were recording it and posting it. It's all over everything. And it was you. It was you. It started with you. So we want to have you record a little drop that we can play on the podcast so everyone remembers where we started, because it kind of started with you.
It definitely, like, your first appearance resonated so widely, where we were like, wow, we need to take this off Twitter Spaces and put this on, Apple, Spotify, because the fact that other blogger types are like basically stealing our recording and reposting it as their own almost. We definitely have to make this an official podcast. So you were the jumping point for that. So we do have a warm spot in our heart for you.
Yeah, we do.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, we're big fans. We're big fans.
So having said that, if you could record a little audio drops, it doesn't have to be long or anything special, other than say something along the lines of like, hey, this is Loren Allen, and you're listening to 90 Day Fiancé Fridays.
All right. Hi, this is Loren Allen, and you're listening to 90 Day Fiancé Fridays.
That was good, right, my people?
That was great.
Wasn't a lot of cars.
That was
I'm on the side of
perfect.
the freeway right now.
That was perfect.
Are you sure? I think I was talking when you first started, though.
No, I think it was pretty. I think it was. I think it was,
Okay.
He did it pretty clear.
Okay.
if not, I'll DM Lauren and say, yo, can I get a per private DM'd intro.
Yeah, no, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah. No, and when we're you know, like we again, we're fans of you, we're friends of you, we're champions of you. So if there's ever, never mind like the show, but if there's like another project, you can, whatever your next project is, and if it needs promotion, let us know and we'll happily promote it for you.
right?
Yeah, definitely. Whatever you need, Loren. And if you ever want to come back anytime, you're always welcome back. Talk about anything, right? It doesn't have to be.
George, is he allowed on your couch?
Quick question, Lauren. Are you watching the season now? Are you watching any
No,
90 Day
I
Fiancé?
I don't have any streaming services, and like I don't really have. I've been laying on a floor, so like a TV hasn't really been an option.
Mm.
Even if I wanted, like I don't know.
I
And then I was living in a truck for like 2 weeks, right?
I feel like you have enough clout where you could say, "Hey fans, can I borrow your like streaming account?"
Can I come to your house and
Pillow
watch?
Talk with Lauren? Yeah, and I'd go to your house and watch. Because I think I asked that once, and like nobody was like, "Yeah, okay."
Because like I'm not. I'll make a confession. Like I use one of my fans like Netflix accounts.
Wait, for real?
I mean, I got to take advantage of the Shabooty clout.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I don't want to get too personal, but I log into my best friend's Hulu TV account.
Yeah.
I'm on my brother's YouTube TV and every single streaming account.
See, we're not above that here. We're not above.
No.
I mean, I figure if I have a little 90-day clout, I might as well, hop on a fan's Netflix. Why the fuck not?
That's actually really cool. Nobody's ever offered that to me, so I feel like you're very advanced in this because no one ever offered to Netflix.
Yeah. So that's why we have so many haters because they can't stand our clout.
They really can't. It really bothers them, and I don't know why because we don't even care about them.
I know. We don't even mention people. We try to stay positive and funny and interview celebrities like Lauren.
Exactly.
They should take notes. Take notes.
Yeah, because we're very, it's like that. If you have talent, you don't need to stay in the weeds too long with the snakes. You just move forward and move ahead and don't worry about the people in the rear view mirror.
Yeah, they're just making you more famous.
Yeah.
Solid.
Well, Lauren should have took that advice looking in the rear view mirror when he took his like truck driving test. He wouldn't have failed. Oh
No, okay, no, I passed the test. I failed the simulator advanced training after I passed my test.
Do you think it was like a scam to get that $9,000 out of you or what?
Well, like you have to pay it back no matter what, but like it feels like a scam. It's bizarre.
So
I don't know.
Of all the people that took the class with you, how many people got fired?
So I don't know because not everybody, the people that were in my advanced class were like 3 people from California that I'd never met before. All the people I went to school with, they were somewhere else. They weren't forced to go to advanced training. They just got to disappear.
So advanced training wasn't for everybody? It was just certain people.
They offered it to anyone. And basically everyone in my class, which is only 3 people, was like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. I want to go on the road and learn how to be a truck driver. And they told me when I went back to Las Vegas, it was like a joke. When I went to like the head office in Las Vegas, they're like, well, it's cool that you're here and all, but we're not really ready. And we might not have a person to train you. So like, you can go to Top Gun or you can just not work and just sit around. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I went to advanced training because I wanted to get paid. I don't just want to be sitting around,
Oh, no. So you could have opted out of it.
But then I wouldn't have been paid for like who knows how long because they didn't feel like giving me a trainer.
Oh, so it was like screwed either way. So I thought after you passed that you could go get a job driving a truck for anybody. Is that not how it worked?
I mean, I can. Like, I thought about going to like a different place, but like I'm gonna go live in a hotel in Washington because there's no rent. But I mean, there's no rent in a truck either. I don't know.
Because technically, you have a license to drive a truck for anybody, right?
I do. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So technically, you can just go find a different company who is actually giving out hours. Because this company, I think, honestly, from what I've heard, I think it's a scam. I think they let you go through the class and pass, and then you owe them 9 grand, and then they don't give you a job. I feel like that's literally what happened. So technically, you should take your license, your CDL, and just go drive for like a real legit company.
I
Does-
thought about it because I know there might be something up in the mountains I could do like on my off day, do like a little like in-town gig.
Well,
Just-
yeah, something local where you're just going, back and forth. Exactly.
like this may be a stupid question, so pardon my naivete, but does your CDL from Nevada like transfer easily in Washington State?
Right, because it's an interstate license because you drive interstate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so it's good. It's good in multiple states. Yeah, that's why. So yeah, you just get your truck driver license usually in your home state, and it's good for all of the states.
true.
It should just transfer right over.
True.
If I ever get a Washington State card, but that's a hard thing for me because every time I go to a different state, they're like, well, we need like bills or like a credit card statement. And I'm like, well, I don't pay bills because I pay child support and I can't get a credit card because I pay child support. So like
Just to
I
get your
can't
ID card.
I can't give you proof of residency because I don't actually live anywhere.
So when's the last time you talked to Wendy?
Today, she's texting me in Spanish because okay, so we were supposed to get a place to live together, but that's not going to happen if I just left because the last thing I told her is, yeah, I'm sleeping outside. We'll look at apartments later. But she doesn't understand that I can't get an apartment. Like it doesn't register in her head. But she's like, you're an American. I'm like, I know I'm an American, but I pay child support. Like, I don't make enough money to live. Like, it's not how it works.
Like, let me ask a quick before we end it. Like, let me ask a superficial question with Wendy. Like, does she put in effort to look like feminine, or she doesn't even bother?
I don't think she's on hormones, but she has like long hair and wears makeup. But she's like fairly masculine.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of just like her. Like, she's just got like a bodybuilder kind of look to her.
Like, Wendy's more of like a top or what?
I guess she has done that, but not very often. Like she's taught me maybe like 3 or 4 times. But like after me and Faith got back together, I just quit doing it. I started sleeping on the floor.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
True. Well, Lauren, you don't have to leave, but we're gonna like jump into other like 90-day topics. If you want to hang out with us and chime in,
Yeah.
feel free, whatever you want to do. But we have like we have like pre-written topics that we're gonna get into. But you
I
could
got you. It's a podcast. I understand.
no, but you can hang out though. We're not telling you to leave, but you could hang out, chime in, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, no, I'll hang out for a little bit. It's all good.
Sweet,
Okay.
sweet.
All right, let's jump into our 90-day topics. Well, here's a topic we didn't get to. George, did you watch the latest? I know it's like a pain in the butthole to watch, but did you watch the latest Diaries episode?
Yeah, you mean the last 2 episodes? There were 2 of them, and I watched one, and I thought it was over, and then I realized I took a 40-minute break, and then I realized that there was a second one because I saw Captain tweeting about Diaries, and I didn't know what she was talking about, and then I realized there was a second episode.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. So now I put on the second episode, and it was torture. Like, honestly, it was torture to get through. I was really, really, really bored.
That Zied and Rebecca's scenes were like, oh my god, so cringe.
Yeah, and as I suspected, the Zied and Rebecca storyline ended up being like total horseshit.
Yeah, that was like super scripted garbage.
Mhm.
You know, who actually makes you introduce them to somebody that you think, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I think my husband is cheating with this person. Let's all go to a restaurant and I'm gonna ask her, in front of everybody. We're gonna record it. Like, that was so stupid.
Well,
and
they told him to do it, right? Because that's how it works.
Well, yeah, when you get a call from producers that they want you to do diaries, the first thing the producer says is, what is your story going to be? What are you going to do? Are you going to go on a trip? Are you going to do, like, they want to know what you're going to do. So she, being a ex-private investigator, she concocted this BS in her head and she sold it to the producer, and the producer, being basic, was like, oh yeah, let's do that. That'll be great. And that'll be a cool little segue for y'all to go to the last resort. You know,
Like I will say one thing though. As stupid as it ultimately ended up being, and as obviously bullshit as it ended up being, it's the only like diary storyline that I could actually remember from the episode.
Well, yeah, it was eye catching because if you're a human being, you watched the show Cheaters back in the day. So when you get anything close to the show Cheaters, you're just super excited. I remember watching Cheaters and
I
that show.
love that show, by the way.
Yeah, Cheaters was good.
I remember when Joey Greco got stabbed. I remember the show was just
Can
going.
I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
Back I think this is like 2018, 2017. Like I wrote that I was at home watching I've been watching Cheaters for like 4 days, and Joey Greco reached out to me and told me I needed to get a hobby, and
Are you
that
serious?
was hilarious. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Get in your pants, Coco.
Joey,
What?
I don't know.
I'm just surprised that Joey Greco is still around and watching tweets about Cheaters. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I was like crazy.
Did you respond to him? Like, what did you say?
I I don't remember what I said. I think I was just too weirded out that I was insulted. He told me to go get a fucking hobby.
That is very insulting.
I'm like, that is my hobby. Give it. You know what? It was because of me you getting your residual check. So shut the fuck up, Joey Greco.
You're lucky this shit is even in.
Oh, and that stabbing, it was fake. You know that, right?
Wait, stop.
Yes. That never really happened. It was all like part of an act.
No, don't ruin this for me.
I fucking said what I found out.
Oh my God, don't ruin this for me. So when they were on the boat and the guy stabbed him,
It wasn't really no.
no.
I know, because when I saw that, I was like, no. Someone told me that wasn't true, and I was like, no, you're lying. And then I looked it up, and it wasn't true.
They carried him on a stretcher and everything.
I know. That's why I was like, oh my God, you bastards lied to me.
So disappointing.
I know.
It was disappointing. The Libby and Andre storyline.
Oh, that was portion 2, right?
Yeah, that was on episode 2. Well, no, I think that was on episode 1 as well.
Yeah, but the part where she's singing.
Yeah, that was on episode 2. Do we have audio of her singing at all? Because I was hoping we could play that.
No, we don't have it handy.
Oh no, we don't have the audio. Damn it.
We can always go back and play the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see if I find it.
That was another horseshit storyline, right?
Well, yeah, because Andre is saying that he wants to move back to Moldova. And if you guys watch the show closely, Andre was barely even welcomed in Moldova, if y'all remember correctly. He was a cop and he got in trouble and he was barely like welcome there. So the idea, and he wanted nothing more than to leave. So the idea that he ever even wanted to go back is just completely outrageous. And as they were talking about it, I was like, this is so fake. Her telling her family, and I was like, I can't with them. And I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or make anyone upset. But Libby and Andre are gonna be on Happily Ever After. I just want to put it out there and break any hopes of them disappearing right now. They've already filmed it. And this was a segue into it. So just so you know, we have to deal with them again. They're coming back very soon.
Well, that's T. That's new T. But yeah, even when like the father, he was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna move to Moldova too to support you," like as if that's like an easy process or some shit.
Right, like we can just pick up and move to countries that are not our home country, and just because you feel like it. The whole thing was such BS, and I don't know if this storyline is gonna stretch over into their other season. Like I'm sure, because everything that they do is a segue to something else. So I'm assuming they're gonna film Happily Ever After, and something's gonna happen and fall through where they're unable to get citizenship, and they're not gonna go. I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen to make it seem like they actually were trying, even though we know that they never actually tried to move to. Like, come on now, they never did. But I'm assuming they're gonna make it look as though they attempted, and then maybe the visas didn't go through. Whatever the situation is. But we're gonna see them again, and I don't know why. Nobody asked for this. Just like we saw Loren and Alexi on that episode. Nobody asked for that. We don't want to see that. Like, why is this happening?
No, I'm totally on the same page as you. Nobody wants to see that.
Well, I like Loren and Alexi. I'm lying. Did y'all believe that I was lying? I don't like them, but look, their whole storyline for Diaries was their kids were getting a haircut.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, this is why y'all show got canceled, because you literally are the two most boring people on the fucking planet. I was like, you couldn't think of anything. Oh, and it was one of their kids' birthdays, having a birthday party. And then she was like, I want to have another baby. My body wants another baby. And everybody's like, so what was the point of your mommy makeover if you're just gonna be putting babies back in there? Like,
You saw my post about that?
yes.
Yeah, and then speak real quick, like speaking of haircuts, it was kind of it was sort of stupid AF where the big reveal was Rob got his haircut, but then we saw Rob with his haircut already on the
On the
tell-all.
tell-all. Yes.
all-
That's how behind and ridiculous and unimportant and irrelevant Diaries is. Like,
Yeah.
so irrelevant. And not only did we see his haircut on a tell-all, he had already released the haircut with the 90 Day Bad Boys in those videos.
Yeah, 90 Day Bad Boys, the tell-all, the Hunt for Love trailer.
Yes. Like, what was even the point of airing that? Like, at this point, they're just airing useless footage. Like,
Yeah.
literally useless footage, things that don't even have any importance anymore. They held on to these Diaries episodes for so long. They don't even have any importance or relevance anymore.
It would be like showing a video of someone shaving off their winter bush, and then by the time it airs, it's in the middle of winter. And their bush grew back.
Basically, right? Like, it was this whole watching these 2 hours of Diaries, it was literally torture for me because I was like, there are people that I do want to revisit, but none of them were on. Right?
Yeah.
None of them were on.
I'm still waiting for Liz. I want to see Liz on there.
Liz is gonna be on. Big Ed is gonna be on. Oh, so Veronica was on too.
Oh yeah.
Episode. So Veronica and Chloe.
Well, yeah, Veronica was on. Yeah, yeah. Did you see my meme though? I said, damn, I should pull it up so I don't ruin my joke. But I said something along the lines of like they should rename 90 Day Diaries to 90 Day Has-Beens that blocked Shabooty.
Oh, I did see that meme. I did see it.
Yeah, that's when I was seeing like Veronica, that she was the inspiration for that meme.
Did she have you blocked?
I think she's one of those situations where it's like I don't know if I blocked her first and she blocked me second, but it was almost like a mutual blocking. So
No way. That's crazy. Does Tim have you blocked too?
yeah, again, I don't remember if I blocked Tim first or he blocked me second, but we're blocked. Veronica and Tim are both blocked. I don't know if I did it first or they did it first, but yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, it is just a bunch of people that have you blocked.
Yeah. And then somebody in the comment section of my Instagram post was like, oh, but that doesn't, they're like, what about like Liz and Kara? And I was like, well, they don't have me blocked, so I don't think this meme applies to them. So, and they're going to be on a main series pretty soon, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, they
So
are.
it doesn't apply to them because they're not has-beens.
They're not has-beens. Yeah, I was gonna say they don't fall under that
Mhm.
that actual category. They're not has-beens. They're still bins. They still shit. They got shit going on. They're not falling out of relevance like these other people are.
Exactly. So yeah, that was pretty much 90 Day Diary. Should we go to the next topic?
Well, also, are we gonna talk about Colt?
Oh, I forgot about him.
So yeah, Colt's living in Utah because he got fired from his job and lost his place in
Oh,
Vegas.
one thing I'll add real quick as far as him losing his job, because I'm friends with who's the chick he was with?
Vanessa.
Vanessa. I'm friends with Vanessa, and then I don't think people realize apparently he lost like a 6-figure job, like it was a high salary job that he lost or something.
Wait, Colt was making 6 figures?
Like
When
I
he
don't
married
remember-
Larissa, he was making a lot of money.
yeah, like I don't remember the whole deal, but I know the job that he lost that he mentioned on Diaries is in reference to a 6-figure high salary job. Yes.
Well, that explains how he kept ending up with these hot ass women. I always was wondering what was going on because we've all seen what he's working with because it got leaked. So I was like, how are these hot ass women chasing after?
Before the pandemic, when he met Larissa, he was making a lot of money. He was like some kind of tech person or something like that.
Yeah, I do remember it was a tech.
Yeah.
You're right. I do remember that, and I didn't realize he was making a shit ton of money.
Yeah, but he obviously he fumbled the bag though.
Well, clearly, and he didn't. The way that he was acting on the show, especially with Larissa and Jess, he didn't really act like he had a whole bunch of money. So I didn't realize that he had so much money. So that's very interesting. I'm finding out that he was making over 6 figures because I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, but once he lost a job and once he re-injured himself, he's just like a bag of shit now. No offense.
Well, his wife left him, and now he's living with his uncle, and he's trying to reconnect with his mom. Like he's literally hit rock bottom. No, not literally, but like literally he's like at his worst of his worst. Was anybody surprised that him and Debbie weren't speaking at all since the tell-all of the single life that season? I didn't realize they hadn't spoken in 2 years.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
shocking.
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's a little surprising, but you
I
think,
mean, I knew they had trouble, but I didn't know it was that bad.
yeah.
he was pretty nasty to her at that tell-all. He made her cry. But
Mm.
he's such a mama's boy. I just assumed they would have gotten over it by now.
It probably has a lot to do with Debbie's man. Him and Colty don't get along.
See, I think you're right, and I think it's because he's a mama's boy, and I was a mama's boy growing up, and whenever my mom was trying to date, I was a dickhead, and I think that it's not that he doesn't get along with him, he just doesn't like the idea that his mom has somebody in her life that isn't him. I feel like that's
You'll see him on Diaries. He makes an appearance on Diaries with
yeah,
Debbie.
they're filming in Canada, right? Isn't that what?
Yes.
Yeah, so
They filmed like a year or two ago at it was like a street festival. And apparently I was reading at the time, or my friend told me that he was on the dating apps while
Oh,
he was
yeah.
here.
Yeah, he's all over the dating apps.
oh yeah, we've seen so many culty profiles on dating apps. He's always looking for women. Like
He's yeah, I've seen him on like Washington State dating apps.
How is it that Jess used to say? Good morning, my dick. Good afternoon, my dick. Good night, my dick.
exactly what she said. He literally
Well, one thing he was like Colty, he's like, I don't know what dating apps he's using for like international shit, but he's like not only on like Bumble in the United States, he's like he's always in the loop with like Mexican chicks like left and right. He's always talking to not one, but like more. He's never talking to just one. So he's always talking
Well, if
to
you change your, like, you can pay a premium or whatever on those sites to go to
travel
international.
mode and shit. Yeah, yeah, travel mode.
oh,
Yeah,
that's true. It'll open up your whatever.
horizons.
Yes, analyzing your location to a bigger radius. And if you pay more, you can even open up to certain countries.
Yeah, so he always has multiple Mexican women in play. Like it's never like one. He's never like talking to one Mexican chick where like that's his Mexican girlfriend. He's always talking to like he has more. It's always like a situation where it's more than one Mexican girlfriend at one time. So he's always like on the prowl multiple times. Multiple more than one.
Could it be that he's angling to come back on the show?
Well, he's tried to make appearances back. Remember, he was supposed to be on Last Resort and got hurt, and then the single house, and I think he got hurt again. Like he's always been trying to get back on the show. It's just been really bad luck, right? He kept getting hurt, and there was issues. And then remember, he tried to sue the show for medical bills the last time. So
So yeah, the first time he got hurt, he was with Vanessa, and Vanessa was the one that, and Sharp told Vanessa like, "Hey, while he's in the hospital, like pull out your iPhone and record Colty while he's in the hospital on the bed and shit." And Vanessa was the one that shut that shit down and said, "No, fuck all that shit. Like, I have some kind of morals. Like, I'm not going to turn this into a circus show. I'm not going to record my husband like fucked up in bed in the hospital with his fucked up leg and shit." But Sharp wanted her to record. So, but she shut it down. But now in Mexico, when he re-injured his like same femur or whatever fuck bone it is, I forget. Uh, that time Vanessa was not in play. He wasn't with Vanessa anymore. So then there wasn't a Vanessa that actually gave a fuck. So now he probably had either himself or his Mexican girlfriend or somebody to come and record him in the hospital. So this time around, in his second injury of the same leg, he probably had it recorded in the hospital because he didn't have Vanessa around.
well, we saw in the preview him getting carried off in the ambulance. We did see that. But yeah, whoever he's oh wait, so you think that he's got a girlfriend from the show, or you think because it was in Mexico, or do you think he had a girlfriend when he went in?
I don't know how it all like coincides with the filming time frame because it's hard to keep track of all that, but I know he had multiple Mexican girlfriends in play outside of the show. So
Ah, okay,
They
okay.
probably were in support of him when he went to the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in Mexico. You're right. You're right. And now that I know that he had all that money, it all makes a lot more sense to me now. Because I was always trying to put the puzzle pieces together. Because he was sending his dick to everyone, so everyone knows what that looks like, and we know what his face looks like. So I was just like, is there a reason why all these really beautiful women are like all up on this guy? And now I get it.
Yeah. So that's the culty tea. It'll be interesting to see him on what's it called, Hunt for Love, but I don't know how much he'll be on the show if he got re-injured.
Whoa, yeah, we don't know how much got filmed before he hurt his leg. Oh, and Ashley and Manuel was on too.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
is anybody surprised that Manuel still isn't speaking any English? Because remember when we saw him last, he said that he was taking English classes 2 or 3 times a week. Remember? And like he still isn't speaking any English. And it's like, I don't know. How long does it take someone to learn a new language? Because I'm not bilingual, so I can't really.
Well, it
6 months to a
depends.
year.
Yeah, it depends how you're learning. If you're taking English classes, if you're
English is one
diligent.
of the hardest languages to learn. If
It
it's
is
not,
very hard to learn English, George.
if
You can't
if
just
it's
learn
not
it. You can't just learn it
not your first
overnight.
language.
Yeah, you can't just learn it. It depends. If he's not going to like a school for it, that he's getting, professional instruction and he's not practicing, then it'll take him even longer. And there's just some people who just can't learn it. It's like one of those things that you can't explain. Like they say the easiest language to learn is Spanish.
Really? So Spanish is the easiest second.
They say Spanish is the easiest language to learn.
Because
But
Ashley does really good.
I've been trying to teach my husband Spanish for God knows how long, and he just doesn't get it.
Oh,
Really?
your JLP, your husband isn't Spanish or whatever?
No, he's from Barbados.
Okay.
Oh, this is so interesting. So you're fully fluent in Spanish,
Yes,
and he's not fluent in Spanish at all.
at all. He can order from a Spanish restaurant what he likes to eat, but he can't hold a conversation. He can't hold a conversation, but he can
You
make
can
an order like
a taco, a quesadilla.
Yeah,
a
he can order like it's
torta.
nobody's business. Sometimes they even ask him if he speaks Spanish, and he's like, no. And they're like, really? Come on, you just ordered a bunch of shit in Spanish. He's, yeah, but I don't speak Spanish. They're like, okay, whatever.
Interesting.
Mentiroso.
Yeah, he and I try. God knows I have tried, and it just doesn't compute.
Well, it's easier because you can speak both, so you guys can communicate. I just wonder how it is on Ashley though, because if she wants to have a conversation with him, she has to speak a second language. 'Cause, when you're speaking a second language, you have to like say it in your language first and then interpret it, and it's
Well, she's pretty fluent in Spanish, so
Yeah.
pretty good.
and
But
he's picking up. He was saying some sentences on diaries. He was saying some sentences.
just a word or two. I don't.
I
Well,
think it's harder too if he's actually working. He might be surrounded by people who only speak Spanish, making it a lot harder for
yeah,
if he's not
yeah.
using
Yeah.
English, right? So
Yeah, the job that he's working, it's probably like day labor.
It's construction, right?
So definitely,
and then
nobody's
yeah.
speaking English. The foreman
No,
is
and
not speaking English.
Yeah.
That you know what, that's true. They say that if you're learning another language, because I remember when I was in school and we were taking a foreign language, you had to say everything in that foreign language. That was the only way that it would stick. So even if you had to pee, you had to be like, I tango Kate, you're al baño. Like you couldn't, everything had to be in the language you were trying to speak. So like you're right. So if they're working 8, 9, 10 hours a day and they're all just talking Spanish all day long, and I understand how it'd be hard for you to continue to learn a foreign language when you're not using it as much as you should.
Yeah. True. But yeah,
And if you're listening to Spanish music and watching Spanish TV, it's even harder.
Oh yeah.
All he does is watch soccer on his phone.
And that's in Spanish.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe he.
I don't think he really gives a fuck.
I was gonna say,
No.
I don't think it's as important to him as it is to Ashley, because Ashley's like, you got to do it, you got to do it. And I think in his mind, he's like, I can always find someone who can understand me and I can communicate with, so it's not as important to him as it is to her.
No, a lot of people that are Spanish speaking that learning to speak English, they're embarrassed to use their English because it sounds funny, so they won't use it.
Mhm.
Like they don't like the way the words come out or the accent, so they'll neglect using their English more. But they most likely understand.
Well, yeah, a lot of times they'll understand what you're saying, but like you said, they won't communicate back. And some people, like you said, those accents are hard. Like when Yara talks and Julia, there are a lot of people who have like these really thick accents, and they might be embarrassed by it because they don't want people to judge them. But it's not like that. We don't judge. Like even Americans have accents. If you're from the South, you got an accent. If you're from Virginia, you got an accent. Like we don't judge people's accents as long as we can understand what they're saying. We don't care.
Canadians have accents. You have accents. We all have accents.
Yeah, nobody's judging.
I got that Bronx accent.
You do. It's very.
Yeah, you do.
Very
Yeah, you
heavy Bronx
do.
You're
accent.
from the Bronx part of the stratosphere, or wherever the fuck the USS Enterprise is.
Yeah, that's where we are.
So
So
should we go to the next topic?
yeah, that's enough of diaries. It wasn't even that important anyway.
Yeah, okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is based on the post I made on like the Sean and what's his face, James T.
Oh yeah, John from Joe and JoJo.
I
Sean
completely
and-
forgot
Sean
about
and
James and Tata.
Yeah.
Already?
So anyway, yeah, like internally, when I say internally, I mean our group chat, which is all the hosts you're listening to. We were kind of batting around different information, and then yesterday I congealed all that information into a post, and I kind of instead of making a T post where made a grand statement, and I was just like, let me just pour out all the facts into a caption, and y'all can make your own assessment based on that. So if you'd like, I could read my caption that I work really hard on.
Yeah, let's read the caption and go through all of the bullet points.
And then I will say, like, see, it's like normally I feel like when I make a post like I did the post I made yesterday, and then if you hear like silence, because again, Sean and James, basically I receive radio silence from them, and I feel like when you receive radio silence, to me that means like your tea is probably accurate because there's nothing to say if it's like accurate, right?
I think they posted like a new, like, I think they're on YouTube now. I think they did the first one from what I saw.
Yeah, but they did in promotion of their podcast, but they didn't like respond
Oh,
to
fuck.
the post. And I'm sure people sent them to my post because usually that's how the assholes in the 90-day blogger world are. They always forward like the tea to get like reactions. So I could read you my caption, long story long. So should I do that now?
Yes, we should read the caption.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's on my Instagram at shabooty.com, and you should see the visuals so you know what I'm referring to. Okay, let me go. Let me pull it up real quick. And so just real quick, like in the visuals of the actual post that I'm commenting on, there was a couple like back and forth where basically like Joan and Sean both kind of denied not being together, but then also Sean says there's a fan that asks him like, "Wait, what? I was hoping to see more of you and Joe on TV." And then Sean responds, "Yeah, that's more than likely not going to happen." And I'm just giving background before I read my caption. And then also Sean, he's starting his podcast, and it has the word minge in it, and that's a slang word for vagina in Europe. So anyway, long story long, let me start into my caption. Here it goes. Sorry to be long-winded. I'll try to read this quick. It says, this is me talking now, Shabooty. It says, I don't know where to begin to unpack this potential fountain of tea. Let me just lay out the various facts. Sean is still under NDA, so he can't say he's single, even if he wanted to or he was. Sean is starting a podcast called How's the Minge? And then I wrote in parentheses, vag. That's like the slang term for vagina. Now, does a taken guy make a podcast with that title or a newly single guy? Question mark. Sean looks to be spending a lot of time with James, the banana chip guy. It wouldn't surprise me if he moved in with James and Tata and left Joan flapping in the wind. Also, James is Sean's in-person weekly podcast co-host. You can't do that unless you either live together or live nearby. Uh, and just FYI, James lives in Maine, I think. Joan and Sean's collaboration Instagram account no longer exists. Sean's new podcast account follows James and Tata, but not Joan. Sean's DMs must be sizzling with press fans just clamoring at the first opportunity to holler at him. Sean confesses that don't hold your breath when it comes to seeing him and Joan back on television together. He says, quote, not gonna happen. Now imagine, and this is me talking Shabooty. Now imagine if I was dating my dream woman and I created a new podcast called How's Your Pussy? That wouldn't go over too well with her, would it? Joan and Sean haven't been seen together in any new photos together since January 2025. They no longer follow each other on their main Instagram accounts. Side note, Joan has Shabooty blocked for no reason. Joan also deleted her personal Instagram account and only has her business account. In recent videos, Sean with James and Tata and his daughter, but there is no Joan in sight. And in conclusion, if Joan's a psychic, how could she not see this coming? And then I said, lads, which is an Irish reference. Lads, we clocked the T. And one last other thing I said in the comments section, I said, and one final note, saying you're together in the comments section doesn't mean jack shit. So yeah, that's all the tea I posted.
Yeah, I think that there's enough circumstantial evidence to show that something is amiss, right? Like we can't really pinpoint. Well, what's weird to me though is that they're doing an in-person podcast, like they're recording together. Because if they were, Joe lived in Staten Island, right? I'm pretty sure she lived in Staten Island, and James and Tata lived in Maine or Maryland.
No, I think Maine, yeah.
Maine. So it's weird that they would be recording something so regularly together if they weren't in the same place. I am under the impression, my theory is allegedly Joanne and Sean broke up. Joanne kicked Sean out, and now Sean is living with James and Tata because that's how they're able to record in the same place at the same time weekly.
Yeah.
That's just my thought process. I don't know if it's
No, I agree. I agree. There's another tell, and I didn't put it in the caption, which maybe I should have. Another tell is if you're living with someone, because there's a video where Sean pulls out like a slab of meat and he's like spanking it to make like a joke, but at the same time he's about to like cook the meat. And basically, if you don't live with someone, you're not gonna just like pull out a hunk of meat and start like because you're gonna cook it because you live there. It's like George, if I visit your house, I'm probably not gonna pull out like a chunk of meat in preparation of cooking it if I don't live with you. You know what I mean?
exactly.
And it's a 7.5 hour drive from Staten Island to Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're doing that every week because they're recording in person together. And also, Sean made the comment, he said, in 2 weeks, my NDA expires. And he's like, I'm going to tell all the tea, I'm going to spill everything. And so that also verifies that him and Joanne didn't record anything else because your NDA renews at the recording of another show. So if they were to record something else after the show that they did, they would be in a new NDA and it would not be expiring. So the only way your NDA can expire is because you haven't recorded anything in, I think, 9 months since the last tell-all you were on. So there is nothing recorded by Joanne and Sean, which is weird because everyone loved them. I remember every time I had anything negative to say about Sean, all of the older horny women would have attack me and call me names and say,
Well, let me correct you. When you said the fans love them, I want to correct you and say the women love him.
Yeah, he was eye candy. He was eye candy.
That's true. The
For
women
sure.
were definitely
No one gave a rat's ass about Joan. No offense.
I mean, you're right. Everybody was kind of mad at her for not telling her kids what was going on, actually. They didn't really like her. But it's funny because they weren't mad at him for also not telling his daughter what was going on. It was the face tats. I don't know what it was, but anytime he showed up on the screen, the women were just soaking wet. Like, it was just like no matter what he did. And if I tried to say anything about him, I got attacked to the point where I was like, you know what? Y'all can just have this guy. You know what? At this point, y'all can have him. I don't even.
You know, it strikes me as weird that they didn't stay together because he looked like a TV fame whore. Like if the TLC would have offered them another spot somewhere else, like he would have wanted to jump right at that. So whatever broke their relationship cost them whatever TLC contracts they had going forward. So it had to be something really big because TLC would have profited from seeing him on the Single Life.
Do you think that them breaking up is something that maybe was his fault? Because
I think it had to have been
Absolutely.
or she could have just pulled the plug altogether
Mhm.
because he looked like he wouldn't mind staying on TV forever.
Yeah, but like I think he has that male. He has the male pretty privilege, and also he's as faithful as his options.
Exactly. So everybody that saw them on the tell-all together was like, I remember particularly posting about how that wasn't going to last because I mean, look at her, look at him. He was just he was like he was in love with himself. Not to mention all the women that were in love with him. So, and she was just like a plain Jane. So that wasn't going to work out. She was older than him also. So I knew that wasn't going to go anywhere, but I'm kind of figuring maybe for the sake of the show, they might have held it together because I know they could have, there were like a couple that people were liked. So TLC might have been like, well, we can extend you guys. But then shit went south and now he's doing YouTubes with Tata and I mean, with James and that guy, which I completely forgot about James and Tata.
Yeah, I mean, like I imagine they would want him on Single Life because
Exactly. Single Life. People would be fawning all over him.
the way women like pinch their underwear because of him.
I know this whole thing is weird. The fact that he said that his NDA expired, like, so that means that you didn't record anything. Because even if he's not with Joanne, like y'all said, he didn't need to be attached to her to continue with the 90-day show. So it makes me wonder, what did he do specifically to get blackballed from the show? And my mind is racing of all these different things. And I was like, he had to have done something. He had to have offended someone or did something to where they didn't want to film him because everyone wanted him back. I got so much hate anytime I said anything negative about him because I was like, don't y'all think it's weird that he's like 40 years old? He doesn't have a job. He lives with his mom. The women were like, why don't you shut the fuck up, you ugly? Like they were just coming for me. And I was like, okay.
They were like, die.
Yeah, they were like, you're disgusting. You're an idiot. He's better than you. He has good tats. And I'm just like, but he's like a dad and he doesn't have a job and he lives with his mom. And they're like, mind your business. No one asked you.
He takes care of his mama.
Right. I was like, okay. I was just pointing out a few red flags, but the women were like, take those flags and shove them up your ass.
Who was it that he attacked when he came on solo? That he was going for their neck? It was somebody. He was just going at him. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, that's right, Sean. You tell him.
Oh, my God. Who was he attacking?
Remember, he kept coming for their neck. It was a guy.
I don't remember.
Was
Damn.
it?
Somebody said, was it a Michael? But was that the same season? I don't know. Or was
Yeah,
it?
I don't
It was Iggy or whatever. Ingy.
Oh, Inky. He was attacking.
Inky.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was Inky.
I forgot all about
Thank you.
Yeah, the guy that was with Corona.
with coronavirus. Do you remember coronavirus? It was her fake boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
The Iceland guy. The guy from Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck around. That might have got him messed up.
Mhm.
Possibly. I mean,
Yeah, because he was coming hard for Ingy.
he was. He actually was, and there wasn't even really a reason for all that.
Yep.
True. So yeah, that's the tea, and I don't know. I feel like I said, I didn't hear any. The fact that I made my post and like Sean or James, none of them commented on my post. To me, the fact that they didn't comment on it gives it even more validity because it's like if it's accurate, there's nothing really to say.
Yeah,
Well,
silence is usually affirmation.
I look at it when people try to defend. That's like when they come and say, like when they remember when people were like asking if they were still together, him and Joe, and they're like, yeah, we're still together. When they go and defend, they're deflecting the truth. So I felt like they probably looked at it as, well, he's figured it out. He's not somebody that we really want to challenge. If anybody knows if you want to challenge information, Shabooty's not the person you want to challenge because look at all of the people that challenged the information. Remember, Jasmine said that she wasn't pregnant and now she's got a baby with Matt, and like he's not the person that you want to challenge. So they probably looked at it as he figured it out. Let's not go like tit for tat with him because it's true. Everybody's eventually gonna figure it out. Let's just leave it alone, and that's probably what they did.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't he be in the picture with her birthday post, not just her,
Mhm. And I was let's assume my T is correct, but let me say like George and Gina behind the scenes helped me out to pull all those facts together. So thank you.
Oh yeah. I actually have felt like they weren't together for a while now.
Yeah.
I said it I told you 2 weeks ago. I'm like, I don't think they're together.
Yeah, you told me that, and I agreed with you. I was like, oh, yeah, I actually feel like they broke up months ago because their Instagram account started getting weird. Like you said, they had that joint account where they posted all their lovey-dovey pics, and then that account got deleted, and then her personal account got deleted, and then his account, I don't think follows her account anymore. And I was like, yeah, I kind of figured it out a while back that they weren't together, but I never really like looked into it.
You know what that reminds me of real quick is like, remember like the Gino Jasmine joint account that is now the Jasmine and Matt joint account?
Yes.
You imagine just recycling your penises through your extra Instagram account? That's crazy, right?
Mhm.
Jasmine is a mess.
Yeah, so those
Hot
joint
mess.
can be telling.
It can be. It can be. When you have that joint account and you post all your little lovey-dovey pictures together, and then you break up with the person and that account disappears, or you rebrand the account and it's just pictures of you. It's very, very telling. So it's like it's better to not start those accounts because then you have that fake reputation of y'all being happy to uphold, and nobody wants to do that when they're pissed off. And okay, and I also have a theory. I want to throw this in there. I think that if Sean and Joanne aren't together, I think allegedly Sean was probably cheating on her. That's just my theory.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
no, the way, like, I mean, we already talked about it like 5 minutes ago, but the way the fans were like lathered up for him and like so thirsty for him, there's no way he wasn't gonna holler at somebody.
That's what I'm saying. That he don't look like he fumbled the bag. Somebody else fumbled it for him.
Yeah. I think
I'm just saying, like, if I was in his shoes and he had access to, pardon my French, but like grade A 90-day fiance poontang, it's hard to like keep it in your pants, right?
Yeah.
Minge, his words.
Yeah, man.
He could have rode that 90-day fiance horse all the way to the sunset because
Would have been perfect on that Hunt for Love.
he would have been on Hunt for Love. He would have been on The Single Life. They would have made a bunch of diaries of him. Because look at Benny with his, all his different talents that he has, and Sean is supposedly like an MMA fighter too. So he could have got some attention off of that. But he
Now
looked
he's
like
a
the type,
trainer and training girls,
Yep. He looks
we
like
know
the
how
type
that goes.
that wouldn't have left the spotlight. If it were up to him, he wouldn't have left the spotlight.
Well, it's telling as well that if him and her aren't together and he's still here, then that makes me believe that his goal was just to get over here. It wasn't to be with her because he was living a pretty comfortable life. Back where's he from?
Ireland.
Ireland.
Pretty comfortable. He had his daughter. His mom was taking care of the daughter. All he had to do was go to the gym all day, and I'm sure he's banging every chick at the gym. Like he had a pretty comfortable life. He wasn't really struggling. So the idea that he gave all that up to come here makes me think that was his goal. Kind of like Jasmine. Jasmine was doing pretty well in Panama as a sugar baby, but I think that her goal was to get here. I think so. I think that's the same with Sean. I think he wanted to be in the US and then he actually brought his daughter over here. So he got everything that he wanted. He just didn't want her. I think that was the thing.
What didn't they say he had tried before and because of some kind of
He
case?
overstayed his visa.
Yeah, he overstayed his visa. He couldn't get back in. So I guess he used he married her to use her to get in.
The K1, right. So he couldn't come back on a visitor's visa for 3 years for overstaying, but he was able to come on a K1. because that's a different visa. You get married, that's a different process. But a lot of people were saying that overstaying story was fabricated. They said that he wasn't banned at the time of filming, as they said.
Mhm.
That's why he got here so fast. They said that happened, but it was later. It was earlier. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it further in the past than they let on, because they kept saying, "Oh, well, there's nothing that we can do." That's why she has to move here, because I'm banned for so many years because I overstayed. That was all fabricated. I heard that was a storyline. Either one of them could have left, but I think that the whole time he was trying to get over here.
Or they could have found out that they were both doing it just for, a business transaction. And that's why they banned both of them, because what's the coincidence? As soon as he got here, he breaks away from her and then he brings his daughter. Maybe that wasn't real to begin with.
I don't think the show cares of how legitimate the union is. I don't think that they're into the legal side. I think as long
we're talking about TLC here, Captain.
Yeah, no, but they could. They need to be in on top of the legal side, because they can get in trouble if people are just using the show to make money and not really in real relationships. That's immigration fraud.
Yeah, but you know how much Trump is an entertainment whore, so he'll.
Not entertainment, but when it comes to certain things like that, as far as immigration
Oh yeah,
and
you're right.
people coming from how he said it, shithole countries, he's
oh,
not gonna let that go down.
well,
Damn. Okay.
You remember when he
You're
said
right.
you
You're
guys
right,
remember
but
when he said that?
you're right. But in this is a white Irish dude, so I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might make it pass, but still, it's immigration fraud is immigration
Yeah,
fraud.
but somebody like Jasmine, she better be on her best behavior.
as long as there is a 40-something-year-old woman working in immigration, Sean ain't going nowhere.
Mhm.
Paul's not going
Who
anywhere.
watches 90 Day Fiance?
The second he walks into the immigration interview, she's gonna stamp
It's like,
Yeah, she's
stamp
gonna be
them.
like, "Why are you here? You should have just called me. I would have
Are
sent
you
you your
applying for
visa."
a job?
Yes, she'll be like, as soon as he walks in, she's got that approved stamp. She's like, approved, approved, approved. Do you need somewhere to live? You can live with me. Like, as long as there's a woman working there, he ain't going nowhere.
That's why I'm very curious to know what went wrong that they're not together. That he wasn't given the opportunity to ride the TLC train till the wheels fell off.
I don't know for sure. It's my theory. It's a legend, but I think he came over here and he started banging everything. That's just my
Mhm.
theory. I
All
think
right.
he got over here and
That
all
would
the
have made a good storyline, though.
it would have. You're not lying.
Yeah, it would have made a good story. TLC makes apples applesauce out of apples real quick.
Well, that would have been a good last resort storyline. He got over here and started.
Exactly. They could have made all kind of stuff with that.
Yeah, it's weird. We did learn something though with like Lauren when we talked to Lauren. That is one thing though, because Lauren said when he came, I can't remember, but he basically was saying like he started talking to multiple people, and TLC said, "Well, we don't have storylines for multiple people. We didn't build characters for multiple people. So the idea of you being with multiple people at their faith doesn't line up with our show because we don't know who the fuck these people are. So TLC doesn't really like you just like coming back.
That must be a new rule that they have, because I remember if you were a 90 Day Fiance OG like me, I remember one of the first episodes where the guy went to Colombia to meet the girl and she didn't show up, and then
I remember that because
yeah,
I
and then
started watching it during COVID.
and then he got back on the app while he was in Colombia. He's like, well, I'm already here, I might as well. And he got on the dating app in Colombia, and then they paired him up with somebody else.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Remember that?
I remember.
So yeah, they didn't want to fuck with Loren because he had already married that other person.
Yeah, I think that was
That
it.
threw them off. If he wouldn't have married that other person, they probably would have,
Carlos / Wendy.
Wendy Carlos.
Yeah.
Well, we can't use her dead name just to be politically correct. But yeah, that Wendy person. So that's probably what happened. Loren probably didn't wait around it long enough,
Yeah.
He was desperate for a place to live, and he married that person. And then TLC was like, nah, son, you can't do that.
True. Like, all right, so I think we should change the subject though.
Yeah, we have like a lot more.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's almost 1 and we haven't. Let's go to you want me to go to the rain post real quick? The Renee post.
Because we were talking about this on Sunday, right?
I don't know if we actually read. We didn't read it though.
But we were getting into it. But so what's new with Renee?
Well, I don't know if we ever, because I posted. Well, my post that I just posted was 1 day ago, so that wasn't Sunday. But what's new is she did a new post, and I can read you her post.
Oh, she's still going. Okay, yeah, let's see what she has to say because she said a lot in the last post that we were talking about.
Yeah, and again, I'm not exactly 100% sure if her NDA is expired or not. I told her it was. I don't know if Sharp said no, it wasn't. So there's a little confusion of if her NDA is expired or not. But in my position, it's not really my problem. So let me just read you what she said. This is Renee talking, aka Chicken Lady. She says, apparently my contract ended sometime months ago. Pain in the ass producer that they threw off on me, unfortunately, is immature and refused to give me information simply because they didn't want me going on talking. AKA, let me translate real quick for Renee. Basically, she's saying like this producer didn't tell her when her NDA expired because they didn't want her to talk, even if it expired. Okay, and then she goes on to say, now I could say that it's so scripted that I actually played a part of the interview in California 6 months after my arrival in Nigeria, green screen. They were hoping to see me a little bit more loose with the words because at this point, him and I had been broken up for 6 months. For example, when I said I'd rather throw him on the grill, I was actually playing around with the producers in California when I mentioned this because we were all discussing what a horrible person he is and how he was scamming me all along. They saw the truth. They thought it was mean that they were trying to set me up after knowing that I don't like animals being slaughtered. I was wearing the same stinky clothes because they keep the clothes they have you wear and they definitely don't wash. They bought me some clothes, but they took back everything. They took back everything they bought back, including the little fake jewelry. Okay, that was it. That was Lauren. That was not Lauren. That was Renee's tea.
Well, they don't typically tell you when your NDA expires. And
Mhm.
because I've seen the contracts before, it just basically says 9 months from the original air date of your season. If there's a tell-all, like if you're on Love in Paradise, there's no tell-all. It's just 9 months from the air date of the last episode. If there's a tell-all, it's 9 months from that day. So it's kind of your responsibility to figure out when your NDA expires. Like
Mhm.
they don't really, there's no actual date printed on the contract. Like it doesn't say like May 1st, 2020. It just says 9 months from, and then it's kind of your responsibility to do the math.
True. Well, you know she ain't gonna do no fucking math.
Well, no, I was gonna say she probably I'm trying to think the last because she didn't show up to the tell all, so it would have been the last episode of her season.
Like, remind me, was she on the same season as Lauren or not?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
She came out the season after.
Okay, that kind of makes sense because I know Lauren's NDA expired, but apparently, allegedly, Renee's maybe has not.
All right, I'm gonna try to see if I can get a date.
I don't know.
I know her season came on after Lauren. Was she what, the 90 Day Fiance, right?
They all the
He was on
Or
before
the other way.
he was on before the 90 days.
Before the 90 days.
yeah, but so long story long, I think she thought her NDA expired and it maybe not had, but then she told me privately, she's like, what's gonna happen? She's like, what's the worst that can happen? Are they gonna come and take my chickens away from me? That's what she said.
Hey
Yeah.
man, those chickens are like making bang for her buck right now.
Egg prices are up, so yes.
Yeah, that
You
might
should, Shabooty, you should invite her on the
I'm
podcast.
trying to lather her up, but
So you know what? We need somebody that's gonna take the gloves off and talk all their shit. Come on now, come on down.
I'm trying. She's a hard nut to crack. She's really hard to like garner her trust.
Oh well, yeah. We tell her we just want to hear your story. We just want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of stuff
Well,
was probably scripted. Why don't you tell us exactly what happened?
all right, so it says before the 90 days, season 7, It started September 1st, 2024, ended February 2nd, 2025. But that was 4 parts of the tell-all. So her NDA, her last episode would have been January 5th, 2025. But
So 9 months after that, right? Which would be September,
Yeah.
October.
yeah. I mean, technically, maybe not, because I don't think she was in all the episodes. She might have actually ended a little earlier in the season, but she's nowhere near the end of her.
Yeah.
And and she was on with Niles and Matilda,
Yeah.
the show, Brian and Ingrid, and Loren and Faith. Yeah, so Loren and Faith. So they were on the same season.
Oh wait, that's weird though, because I think Loren said his NDA was up though.
Yeah, didn't he said his NDA was up.
Yeah, because Loren said his NDA was up in like February or some shit.
That's not accurate.
Okay, well, Loren is talking. Well, maybe Lauren's the one that's like misinformed and
Yeah, it's 9 months. Well, actually, I think he said 9 months on this podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
It's
did.
from the last
well, I
episode.
guess this was an exclusive interview with Loren then.
It was because he's
Well, maybe they record at different times. You
Well, I
know.
think it's based on the air day, right?
no, yeah, it's based on the air date. It's based on the air date, and it says that Loren was in season 7, episode 14, December 1st. Loren tries to win over Faith's friends. So yeah, his episodes were still airing the week of Christmas, the week after Christmas. Yeah, so he was definitely not out of his NDA, and neither is Renee. So yeah, but again, we didn't sign those. We don't care. We didn't sign those. That's not our problem. That's
To each their own. To each their own.
Yeah.
So
Your own
that-
judgment.
that's the Renee T, and hopefully one day we can get her on live. You know, it's gonna take a little bit more of like Shabooty schmoozing. So I'm working on it.
yeah. She wants her ego massaged, obviously.
She's very like, yeah, how do I, you have to, it's almost like she's a very like, you have to massage the ego and you have to like win her over and she has to trust you and you have to like, there has
So
to
you
be,
have to kiss her ass.
yeah.
And
Well, we just gotta give her affirmation that we want to hear her side of the story. There's nothing people like more than telling their side of the story.
Well, at the end of the day, that is what we really want.
Exactly. So she's going to come running with bells because she wants to tell her side of the story. She doesn't want to keep going on, being known as the chicken lady that was angry and what a horrible person she was. So, when she sees how popular our show is and how many people we reach with our information, she's going to come running and say, you know what? I want all these people to hear my side.
Yeah, we should sell to her that this will be her tell-all.
Yeah, that's what it is, because how many people don't listen to our podcast?
Even people that don't like us.
We're international, baby. We worldwide.
Yeah, I could pull it up, but like there's a map that shows like where people have listened to our podcast, and it's like well over 2,000 plus different locations in the world. So
we're worldwide. We can get once she finds out we're worldwide listeners, and you can send her some stats if she wants, she's gonna come because she wants to tell her side, and we want to hear her side too.
Yeah, I mean, we have chicken ladies that listen to our podcast that aren't Renee, like independent new chicken ladies.
We can also tell her that Shitty was already on, so
that'll be an incentive.
I don't know if that would like turn, if we told her Shitty was on, they might turn her off though.
No, tell her when he was on and gave his side of the story. Now come on and tell yours.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got to tell us exactly his side, so now it's only fair that you get to tell us what happened on your side.
True.
You can always like butter her up and just say, I've got some chickens that I'm raising and I need some help, and like
I can
schmoozing.
I could tell her, if you come on, we'll muster up money and we'll get you like a $20 Chick-fil-A gift card.
or you can tell her that I'm the real Patrick Stewart and I'm going to take her into space. Or on the USS Enterprise.
Or you can tell her that we're all vegans.
True.
Maybe that'll work.
Yeah, it's a long JLP for reals.
Yeah, you're Patrick Stewart with a little Hispanic little tinge.
I'm El Patrico Stewart.
Patricio.
El Patricio Stewart.
Also, I loved how Wendy called him Lorenzo.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Lorenzo.
Yeah,
That was so
he's a piece of work, man. He is a
You
piece
gotta
of work.
roll the R's.
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo.
And not to slow down the show, but let me give a quick couple shout out. I know Anush is listening, and I asked her if she wanted to talk, but she said she's too tired. But she's listening live, so shout out to Anush. And I know like who else? I know Jenny from Toronto is listening live, but I think she had. I don't want to put her medical information out there. I know that's a HIPAA law, but I think she may have a sore throat. So she's not going to talk. But shout out to Jenny from Toronto and Anush, and I know Lana's listening. So and Pineapple Girl. And who else? JAL and Izzy and Heather from Vegas and Danby and Coco Puff and a bunch of other people, Amberlee. So just a quick little random shout out to our live listeners.
Hey, you guys.
Thank you for listening.
True. All right, let's go to our next topic. And I feel like this might be a long show because I'm charged up. So let's see.
Last week, you were the one that was like, I'm going to bed.
This
He
week,
had a dentist appointment. Give
oh,
him a
last
break.
week, I had it done somewhere, but this week I'm charged up. So we can run long if we need to. Let's see what else. We did that. Okay. Oh, so Shekinah did an Instagram post where let me pull it up so I don't quote her incorrectly. But let me just pull up my post real quick. It was a Shekinah Instagram story where somebody, when you could ask a person a question on Instagram stories, someone asked her, the question was, are you going through a rough patch with Sarper? And then Shekinah responded, let's just say you probably won't see us on any more seasons. And then I reposted it, and then my caption was, this is Shabooty talking. My caption was, at this point, season 11 is an all-time bad season, so they're trying to drum up any reason for you to tune in. I don't buy any of this for 1 second. So what is y'all's take?
Oh, well, I for one, I'm gonna say that's a lot of crock of shit. Her and
Yeah.
Sarper.
Her nose is growing like Pinocchio, and it's already
Exactly.
big.
Her and Sarper will never give up their spot on 90 Day Fiance. Are you kidding me? Those two live to be on television.
Yeah, I agree. She has this man's name tattooed on her neck. They ain't breaking up. She would kill him before they broke up. They are together, and even if he's smacking her around and pulling her hair out, she's still staying. She's still staying. Like
They'll do anything to stay on that show. Shit.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna give up their spot? They know they got pillow talk coming after that. Whatever else they do, they got pillow talk coming.
there's no chance that they're not together. And I think it's funny because I think you're 100% right. The season is a real snooze fest.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of people have been very complaining a lot about the Sarper and Shekinah scenes too, how boring it is, how scripted, how stupid. So I think that they're creating their own drama to try to get people more interested in their scenes. Because when their scenes come on, I literally get up and go refill my drink or go do other stuff. They're so fucking boring. I can't even deal with them. Like they're worse than the throuple sometimes.
I think she's what makes it boring because him with somebody else would be more interesting.
Mhm.
Like he seems more interesting, more fun.
I didn't know that Shekinah was the boring, ugly sister until we met her sisters on the show. Because it was so funny. Shekinah is the loser of the sisters.
Shekinah's no, and again, I'm not trying to talk shit about people's looks, but compared to her sister, she's like the ugly duckling.
Yeah, she's the ugly duckling.
And
before she had all that surgery, she was pretty.
Yeah, she was very pretty.
She fucked up her own looks. She didn't come like that. That's not a factory defect. She fucked herself up.
It's really funny because when her sisters, when I saw them all sitting together, and Sarper probably got this too because I was like, it's that awkward moment when you meet your girlfriend's sisters and realize you're dating the ugly sister.
Yeah.
That awkward moment because I was like, damn, I wonder if Sarper realized that he's with the ugly sister. Like there's hot sisters and then there's Shekinah, and I was like, I wonder if he knew that because he never really met but one of them, so he might not have even knew that.
Yeah, that's awkward. Like the last chick I was with, like I'm trying to think. I think she had two sisters, and like the one I was with, I'm pretty sure was the most attractive. Wink, wink.
Of course, you're not going to say you picked the dud.
Well, sometimes you didn't see the other sister, so you don't even know you're picking the dud, right? Have you ever had a friend that was really, really, really attractive and you won't go anywhere with that friend because they make you look ugly? You're not ugly, but they're just so attractive, they make you look less attractive. I've had friends like that, and I won't go anywhere with them because I don't want to look less attractive. And that's what Shekinah's sisters do. She's not ugly, but standing next to them, she doesn't look as attractive as she is because her sisters are really hot. They're like,
this isn't what I'm about to say is not like a 90-day topic, but like, you know what it reminds me of is when a lot of women, like, let's say there's a chick who's like, fairly attractive, not like a model type, but there'll be a fairly attractive woman, and then when she goes out, she'll take her girlfriends with her that are like mud ducks, so she'll be flanked with a couple grenades, but then that makes her elevated to like a 9 or 10 because she's surrounded by her ugly ass friends, and then a lot of women do that.
well, yeah. I mean, guys do it too. I hang out with ugly people too. Like,
when you hang out with ugly people and you're the more attractive one, you really stand out as
And then
really hot.
Another thing though, again, this isn't a 90-day thing, but like if you look on Instagram when there's a gaggle of girlfriends all like hanging out or taking a photo for like Instagram or social media, you just go look. If there's like a group photo, let's say 4 girls or 5 girls, whatever, the prettiest girl in that group photo is going to be dead center in the middle. That's just go check. You're gonna look. If you look at the next group photo you see on Instagram, the prettiest girl's in the middle.
yeah, that's actually true. I've noticed it.
Yeah, is that the way they set it up, or is it just falls like that coincidentally?
Stand in the center, and that's just the way it works.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that next time I take a group photo. I'm gonna make sure I'm in the middle.
Well,
you'll have others fighting for that.
Yeah, I'm like, no, let me get in the middle. Let me get in the middle here.
People don't know JLP's attractive though.
so look, there's a thing.
Oh, thank you, Shabooty.
It's called the duff. And you don't know if you're the duff of your friend group. So the duff is the designated ugly fat friend.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that movie, The Duff.
And a lot of people are like, well, wait, who's the duff? If you ask that question, it's you. You're the duff. And every friend group has one. We all make sure that there's somebody that is going to make us look so elevated that we could be a Barbizon model or whatever. Like we could be, like we're gonna look so good. So, and if you don't know who the designated ugly fat friend in is your group, it might be you. So do a quick inventory of your friends next time y'all are out and look at everybody in the face and how they're dressed and be like, make sure that I'm not the duff.
Yeah, look at your group photos you were in recently. If you're in the far edge of the group photo, like
and they cut off half of your face, it's because you're the duff.
Yeah,
they didn't even want you in the picture.
I'm gonna make.
You just have to show up.
I'm gonna look out. I mean, I don't have a bunch of friends like that anymore, but my sisters, there's a bunch of us. So every time we take like family photos, I'm gonna make sure I'm in the middle.
True. That's a pro tip from Shabooty.
Yes. Pro tip.
Okay.
All right, let's see. I don't even remember what we're talking about.
I think we lost Coco
Ugly
somewhere
fat
along the line.
chicks in pictures.
China and Sarper's fake breakup.
Oh yeah.
We got sidetracked because China's not the hot sister, and we thought she might have been.
And then just like a quick side note, it's not really a big topic, but a subtopic, and it'll take 5 seconds. I posted that one meme where it was like a picture of Shekinah with a goofy face next to like that that Snickers advertisement of like this crazy looking mask lady. And then I posted that's like a viral on Instagram. And then Shekinah's sister saw that viral post and she commented and she said, "Rude."
Wait, so this is a different sister because one of them instant blocked you.
One of them blocked me, but then the one with like the nose bull ring piercing, she didn't block me.
And she's the one that said that was a rude meme.
Yeah, she said rude to my meme that was viral about Shekinah.
Well, it was actually very accurate though. So she can take her comments and go somewhere with her bull.
I'm sure they're aware that she's melting her face. Like they probably were shocked to see her when they saw her face because she's changed so drastically. You know, since the first time she was on the show with her sister over in Turkey.
Well,
that's after he did her nose, so now she looks way different.
Yeah. Well, you know what she said on the show that was really funny? She said that they hold her at immigration and customs because she doesn't look like her passport anymore.
No, she doesn't look like her passport at all. I mean, if you look at pictures of her before all her alterations, like when she was on was she on The Bachelor or something like that?
No, wait, she was on Jerry
Oh,
Springer. Baggage.
I thought she
The
was
baggage show.
on,
Yeah, the baggage show.
yeah.
She
Who
was
Wants to Be a
also on
Millionaire? No, it
Millionaire,
was the other one.
Matchmaker too, and also Jerry Springer Baggage.
A matchmaker.
Deal or No Deal?
Wait, she was on Deal or No Deal as well?
Yeah,
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
She was one of the suitcase girls.
Oh my god.
yeah.
She definitely is a fame whore.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you look at her face from then to now, you wouldn't be able to recognize her either. So
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So to our live listeners, we have two topics. So we have one topic, and then we'll get to the most awaited topic. But before we get to the final topic, which is Triple X Beast, the previous topic to that is going to be Daniel and Amber from season 1 of Love in Paradise had their baby.
I didn't even know they were pregnant.
Oh yeah, she's been posting pregnancy stuff a lot. Yeah, they finally had their baby.
Mhm.
What?
The two lovebirds, they had their baby.
She's still wearing the leggings, the black leggings.
Yes, she is. Yes. That's like her go-to.
Yeah, he's the one from Costa Rica, right?
Yeah, he's the one that plays baseball and shit, right?
Yeah, Costa Rica. He's like a little bit hotter, more attractive Manuel looking, right?
Well,
I mean, I don't know how to judge men, but yeah, he's more attractive than
He's
men.
more, yeah. But I know who it is. Yeah,
he's
they
a
were
little
on
chunky.
Diaries. They were on Diaries.
Manuel is chunky, and I think Daniel's a little chunkier. He wasn't when he was in his country, but once he got over here, he started eating better.
He started getting, yeah, of course.
He got a little chunky, but yeah.
And she got chunky too.
Well, she was pregnant.
The last time I saw her was on Diaries, I think.
Oh, well, she was a little chunky when she was with never mind. I can't remember now. But she was pregnant and now, but I don't want to call her chunky though because she was pregnant because I don't want to get any backlash. But she looks okay. She looks okay.
Yeah, and shout out to Daniel because I think he like responded in my comment section. So, any cast member that doesn't have me blocked, shout out to you.
Yes, shout out to the cast members that don't have Shabooty blocked, and the ones that do have him blocked. You guys can go lick a piece of shit.
George, you sound like a.
Oh, and let me say one other thing real quick without getting too into the weeds or specifics, but I know a lot of our haters don't, they try to like wedge their way in between like friendships and relationships, but let me just say for a fact, Shabooty's still Team Liz and Team Liz is still with Shabooty. So fuck all the haters that, always try to interject in that relationship.
Ew, why do they do that? Like, why can't people just let people be happy?
Yeah, and I don't know of any specifics of that happening, but you all hear rumblings, but just fuck all the haters is the point.
Yeah, don't listen to everything you hear. Half of it is just bitter people making shit up because they're unhappy. Don't listen to everything you hear. If it didn't come from this podcast or Shabooty, it's probably not true.
It's probably fake.
Probably fake. It's fake news, right? It's fake news.
Yeah, it's probably a has-been jealous heifer trying to like ruin what other people have going on for themselves,
Yeah, steal our thunder.
Yeah, so
It's not our fault that our shit is more successful than your shit.
Exactly.
It's not our fault. Don't be mad at the player. Be mad at the game.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Having said that, we're head first at the most awaited segment of the night.
Woohoo!
This is a huge deal, guys, because we all had, and actually, I think Captain and I did not see eye to eye on this at all because
we did not.
Thought XX Beasts pajabs were Captain was more against and opposite, and some people agreed, some people disagreed. So I don't know the answer, and it's funny because Gina called.
I don't know the answer either.
Right? Like Gina called me yesterday, and I assumed she was gonna tell me because and she didn't tell me, guys. Like I don't freaking know.
Well,
even Shabooty don't know. This girl.
No, I purposely didn't want to know because I have a bad track record because in the past, not specific to this topic, but in the past with 90 Day Fiancé T, I'll go on like my Instagram stories and say, "Hey, I know like X, Y, and Z," and then I'll get like peer pressured, and I'll say like I'll post it in like 2 days, like or I'll mention on Friday on a podcast or whatever, and then I'll get peer pressured by the followers and say, "No, you got to post whatever tea you're hinting about. You got to post that right this second. I'm not gonna wait 1 second longer."
Well, some of the followers tried to get Gina to break.
Yeah. Oh, I know Pineapple Girl was all up in Gina's mentions trying to get that.
Get Gina to break. And Gina didn't break. She called me yesterday, and I assume it was for that. And we had a whole conversation, and I'm waiting for her to tell me. And then I even bring it up. She still didn't tell me.
Yeah. And well, let me say, shame on you, Pineapple Girl, to try to go around us to get the real tea.
Well, it's
So,
happening now. So
I take things to the grave, so I
so
will not.
my guess was a pilot or a truck driver. Shabooty, what was your guess?
Well, my guess was like I know it's not right now, but my guess was pilot.
Pilot. Okay.
My guess was a truck driver that delivers to the airport cargo.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like
you're very specific.
or UPS.
Yeah,
Okay.
because since George was like he's a pilot, everybody's saying he's a pilot because the strip clubs were very close by to the airport. So
Yes.
I was like, okay, what about if he is a truck driver that delivers to the cargo planes?
That's true. That's true. I like that guess.
Because he's right into he goes specifically into the cities, into the areas, bad or good for these strip clubs. So he's driving around,
Maybe he's like delivering like Windex bottles to the strip club so they can clean the poles and the mirrors and shit.
Well, he's
What?
definitely stopping by the strip joints.
Okay, before we get into it, let me read a few of the guesses from the chat.
Cast your vote.
Coco says he's a promoter. Amberlee says, please don't say traveling salesman. And Pineapple Girl says strip club health inspector. Or wait, Amberlee says, or he owns a strip club and he's checking out the competition. All right, so y'all ready?
True. Well, I'm gonna read like several other reviews, and then ultimately we're gonna land on the triple X review.
Okay, so it's a build up. Okay, so
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not gonna start with triple X beef.
Okay, yeah, that would be stupid. We wouldn't start with the main event.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have to listen to the end.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read reviews, and and again, I purposely don't read the reviews that Gina pulls in advance because I want it to be like a new reaction for me. Otherwise, I would be bored because I would already read it. So we're gonna go through several reviews, and we'll ultimately, even surprise to myself, I don't know when I swipe left on my camera roll, I don't know when I'm gonna hit triple X Beast. So it's gonna be a shock to me when I hit triple X Beast, and then I'm gonna read it, and it's all gonna be new to me and you at the same time.
Let's do it.
Okay, so all right, let's do it. Hold on. Let's start with these reviews. And again, yeah, when I start reading the reviews, mute your mics, and then when I'm done,
George.
unmute. Okay, so well, before you mute though, Gina, so yeah, looks like the first one it's from a strip club in Philly, right? Philadelphia. So
Yeah, we're going to Philly and then we'll go somewhere else just
okay.
because the somewhere else didn't have enough funny reviews. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, so I think well, Gina, it was Delilah's that we're starting at, right?
That is correct.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna start with Delilah's in Philly, and I do recall the name Delilah's being referenced in at least one Drake song. So I'm pretty sure it's a famous strip club, unless they have multiple locations. But nevertheless, I have heard Delilah's mentioned in a Drake song. All right, so y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, let's go.
This is
I'm gonna
Delilah's in
mute
Philly.
myself.
All right, so mute yourself while I start reading these. All right, here it goes, y'all. All right, the first review from Delilah's in Philadelphia. 1-star review from Jessalyn, which I guess that's a woman. Here he goes. Assaulted by the bouncer and denied entry because we were two females without a male escort. He wasn't amused when I said, prove I don't have a dick. I guess my money is less green because I have a vagina. All right, that was Jessalyn.
Assaulted. Jesus.
True. All right, so that was Jessalyn. 1-star review. This one's like one sentence long. So, all right, this is from Hire Anybody. Need to give drug and any sexual disease test before hiring. That was a review.
So wait, are they saying that they should do it or they have to do it already?
This sounds like they need to do it.
Yeah, they probably got crackheads.
When you like the spelling, when the word hire, it's HIRE, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the way this person spelled it was HIGHER and HIGHERING.
Yeah. I read that, I'm like, wait, what? What here then? I was just like, okay, whatever.
So they spelled hiring. They spelled hire and hiring wrong. So
They
that's
were probably high when they wrote it.
Hi. As a guy.
HIGH.
yeah. Okay, here's a 1-star review from Mick. And Mick says, if you haven't been around and haven't looked around or have no clue, this is a good place to lose your money and get absolutely nothing to show for it. No tangible benefits, and the girls here degraded considerably. At least that was good in the early and mid 90s. That was it. So that it sounds like this club kind of went downhill since the mid 90s.
Tangible benefits. Yeah, Christy.
This sounds like someone like that, like a Coco would be interested in. Because if in your 90, in the 90s, then
Yeah,
you gotta be in your 50s or 60s.
That's a long time ago to reminisce about a strip club.
Oh, you mean like, so you're saying like, let's say they went in the 1990s at a strip club, let's say they're like 25, and then you add like 30 years to 25. Yeah, they're probably a lot older.
Still not old enough for Coco, though.
Yeah, still not too late. They'd have to be 50. They'd have to be 50 when they hit that club in the 90s.
Yeah.
To qualify for Coco.
Coco, that's still wet behind the ears.
Where's Coco?
She probably leaves without saying
I
anything.
think she pieced out.
Yeah, but it's probably I like it when she leaves without saying anything because otherwise it'll slow down the show. So, all right, next review, 3-star review from Eric. He says, Eric with a K. He says, do not recommend the buffet. I would not eat the roast beef for obvious reasons. The servers' outfits are fantastic. If Bennigan's adopted Delilah's uniforms, they probably would still be in business. They would not let my girlfriend and her friends unless they brought guys, which I thought was weird.
Oh, so they don't even let women in the building.
I guess the women have to bring dudes or something.
Yeah, they don't cater to all sexual orientations.
That's crazy because a lot of women go to strip clubs and they tip just as much as the men. So
yeah, they make it rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if not tip better because they maybe work in the service industry, so they want to make the chicks happy.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to do. Like discriminate against women in a strip club. That's weird.
True.
Well, we went to Philadelphia, so Captain, right up your alley.
True. Here's a 1-star review from Adam Rod. Adam Rod says, I came by here and was refused entry with my friend because we were female. Had 2 male friends come join us and said they still wouldn't allow us in because we were lesbians. What? Filing a civil complaint with Pennsylvania's unified judicial system. Do not go here. That's it.
Shit.
So
they're not lesbian friendly.
How do they know they're lesbians though? Like, how do you know how can you just accuse someone of being a lesbian?
Maybe they were studs. Maybe they were the stud kind.
Oh, maybe they had like rainbow hair and like shit like that.
No, maybe like the more masculine type.
Like butch lesbians?
Yeah. No, not lipstick. The opposite.
Butch.
Yeah. Studs. Yeah.
If they're lesbians, they do want to see naked girls, though. Like
yeah, but you know what? A lot of strippers don't get down like that, so they don't. You know what I'm saying? The studs are basically like the ones that are more manly, so they want to, touch too.
Oh, okay.
Some strippers don't. They don't go that way,
Mm.
I thought it was good. I thought the price was right. They do it, but yeah, it seems like a lot of strippers are not down with that.
Who would have known the strippers are like, I got morals. I ain't
Yeah, I'm not
I
letting
got
you
some
pull.
class.
I'm not letting. I'm not letting you pull on my cookies.
I mean, if I had some big old titties, the right price is the right price for me. Okay.
Like my experience though is like if you go to, it depends. Obviously, it depends on the strip club. So a Philly strip club may be different than like a New York City strip club, but at least like with New York City strip clubs, when you take like your girl to the strip club, your girl ends up getting all the attention, and you're the asshole that's ignored usually.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
my.
that happens here too.
Yeah. The girls get the free lap dances, and if you
Yeah.
want them, you gotta
Yeah,
pay.
so the girl, if you take your girl to a strip club, my experience was the girl ends up getting a lap dance, and then when it's your turn to get a lap dance, your girlfriend says, "No, no, I'm insecure, and you're not allowed to get a lap dance."
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, this is 2025. You think strippers will allow,
Yeah.
anybody that's paying to play,
So yeah, usually that's what happens in my experience is the girlfriend doesn't allow you to get a lap dance, but then she can get a lap dance.
Yeah.
Who?
Been there, done that. Go ahead.
Okay, next review. This is from Black AEX card. I don't know if that's like an Amex card, but let's say Black Amex card. And this is a 5 out of 5 star review. So this is a glowing review. He or she says, I don't know. It says, I never saw a Black AEX. I think that means American Express. So let's just say, okay, I never saw a Black Amex card until I started working at this club. Now I see them all the time. It is not uncommon for a dancer to get some old rich guy drunk and then take him for 10 grand in one night. It happens all the time. These girls are all making a bundle.
They got the Cardi B set up.
They got the black Amexes.
Remember
and,
the
like,
Cardi B
swiping it
story?
down the ass.
Yeah, Cardi B used to get the guys drunk and then run the tab up on their cards. There was a movie with that with J-Lo. What's the name of it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. The J Lo movie. Hold on.
Yeah, that they used to take the cards and
Was
run
it
them up.
No, I was gonna say Hustler, but I don't think that's
Yeah,
it.
hustlers. You're right.
Yes,
Oh,
hustlers. You're right. And the thing with those black cards is they don't have a swipe limit.
Yeah, if you
So
see a black Amex card, that's
we
bottomless.
see dollar signs.
That's a bottomless pit.
yeah, there's nothing that you can swipe that it will deny. So when you see that, that's the only table that you need to be shaking your cheeks at because nobody else is gonna have that money. Wait, where is this located that there's so many people with black Amex cards?
Philly, Philadelphia.
Philly.
Oh, I didn't even know Philly was like that. When I think of Philly, I think of the in West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Born and raised.
No,
That's
when I think of Philly, I think about like the Kingston Street where all the drug addicts are laying around on the ground.
Yeah, like I hung, there's one weekend my buddy and I, like, I don't know how many years ago it was, but we hung out in Philly. Yeah, it was not a place where I would expect.
Like Skid Row.
Yeah, it wasn't no like Black Amex Central. It was kind of like
Yeah,
it
you
was
would
like Dive
think
Bar
to see a
Central.
black Amex card in the whole in the whole county.
There would yeah, it wasn't really Black Amex Central. All right, let's go to the next review. This is a 2 star review from Detroit Rock City, and he or she says, because I don't know, they say, this place looks great, but the drinks are overpriced. The cover is too high. The girls' lap dances suck. They have a long way to catch up to cheerleaders or Oasis laps. And I'm not talking dirty, just normal laps. You get at any other place in America. Bouncers here are too attached to the girls and act like they're boyfriends. Massage girls, oh God, where do I start? One of them wanted my phone number so we could quote hang out. I guess that's what the standard line is they use on a lot of dopes. So they keep getting massages. The massage was good, but I'm not becoming friends with a stripper slash massage girl. Forget it. The sound system is great, but they need to play more rock. I guess the hip hop crowd frequents this place. I'll come back another time for the food though, but never a couch dance or anything else.
So are the girls getting massages from the guys, or the girls giving the guys massages?
I think they're
I think
giving them.
they're giving you massages, but they're charging you.
Oh, so okay. I
your,
guess
your standard shiatsu massage.
yeah. I mean,
They're not, they're not giving the lap dances. They're just giving you back rubs.
Back rubs? Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna fly with me. I don't know. 'Cause
And then they want to be your friend and get your number so they can give you another kind of massage.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
With a
'cause
beshi, maybe.
I can get a massage at the
They can
mall.
give you a happy ending.
Hmm. Well, I will say when I've been in New York City, I've gotten the massage at the club, at the strip club, but and I wasn't complaining, but it is definitely short-lived because it's probably based on one song.
Not you getting massages at a strip club, Shabooty.
The
What?
no, well, the when I went, I had like VIP access because I had connections. But yeah, uh, no, but anyway, no. But the point I was trying to make though was like it's probably like it's really short. It's like probably based on the song. I don't know. Anyway,
Well,
Nah.
that's for the
song,
next review.
the songs today are like 3 minutes or less, so you ain't getting nothing. I
You get
remember,
like a 3 minute massage, and you're like, what the fuck?
yeah, I remember back in
Anyway.
the day, songs used to be 4 and 5 minutes, and it's like now they're ringtones.
Yeah. All right, here's a 1 star. It's a one sentence, 1 star review from JD. And JD says, Boo, I spent $500 in about 4 seconds and still had a shitty time.
How do you spend $500 in 4 seconds?
I don't know.
Probably making it rain like an idiot.
Yeah,
At the door, you're tipping the bartenders, you're tipping like somebody goes out.
Well, it sounds like he spent his tax refund that night.
Or
yeah.
the rent money.
Yeah, he spent his rent money on that shit.
Mhm. All right, this one's kind of a long ass review. This is from Carrie, and it's 2 stars. All right, this is kind of long, so I guess I'll read it fast. Do you like weak, expensive drinks to wash down your overpriced steak? Do you like Barbie so much that you wish you could pay her to sit on your lap and laugh at your jokes? Well, my friend, it's your lucky day. This means you'll love Delilah's. This gentleman's club gets points for not being, sorry, for not being dank, dark, and creepy. In fact, it's quite swank as far as venues go, but unusually I'm sorry, but usually people go to strip clubs to get up close and personal with the talent, and this is where they start to lose stars. It's a little like going to a concert and sitting in the skybox. You may actually be in the same place as the lovely ladies, but you may as well be watching on TV. My stage side judging led me to believe that this is not always a bad thing, as getting too up close to some of these dames may result in an overdose of glitter, spray tan, or Victoria's Secret body spray. If you're going to Delilah's on the DL, be warned, you probably need to hose yourself down before you go home. They welcome the ladies, parentheses, I was with my husband, but don't expect lots of attention. Bring lots of money if you want to hang out more than 20 minutes. This place ain't for cheapskates. Delilah's is the Disneyland of Philadelphia gentlemen's clubs. I still can't say that with a straight face. I suggest you go elsewhere for a more authentic and debaucherous experience. That was Carrie. What do you think?
I was muted. I was thrown off by her saying it was the Disneyland of Philadelphia. Like,
Yeah, they wrote a whole dissertation there.
That means it's like does that mean it's like super expensive or what?
Disneyland, or yeah, a lot to see. Is it fun? Because Disneyland should be fun.
it's magical. Yeah, it's very expensive, but it's magical. So I'm assuming it's like a playground for adults. I'm assuming. Like, I don't know. That was just a weird way to explain it.
I
Yeah,
don't know. So
I can't associate Disneyland with a strip club.
my takeaway was you got to have deep pockets to have an enjoyable time.
Right. Yeah, that could be because Disneyland, you got to have deep pockets to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're hungry, it's gonna cost you a lot. So yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what she was going for, not the playground like rides. She was saying it's gonna cost you. You know that commercial? Well, it's not a commercial. It's a reel, and the guy and the girl are leaving their house, and the girl steps out of the house, and it shows. It has his bank account on the screen, and as soon as she steps out of the house, it deducts $500, and then he walks out of the house, and it deducts nothing, and then he pushes her back in the house, and then he leaves her at home, and that's what I was thinking. But yeah.
Oh, but I will say, based on the current reviews that we read thus far, it seems like all the women that have gone there have not really enjoyed themselves. It seems like it's not a very women-friendly club.
Well, didn't we hear a review that said that if you're a woman, they don't even let you in unless there's a dude with you?
Yeah, they don't like lesbians and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't like lesbians.
I don't know why they discriminate. I mean, I think everybody's money is green, and if they want to go in and see,
I'm surprised they haven't got boycotted.
I know, like it's 2025. I didn't even know that you could discriminate against.
Discriminate, right? In the strip club.
I mean, if somebody wants the tip, you take the tip. You put the tip in, right? You put the tip in. Like that's a crazy thing to me. They're turning money away at the door.
True. Here's a 1-star review from Wing Bowl Man, and he says, "First and last time here. Girls think they're hot when some look like a bus hit them. What's up with that?" That was it.
He didn't like what he saw
at all.
Let's go. The next one is from Rex, 1-star review. He says, "Wow, disappointing to say the least. Will not be back. Where's the girls from early 2000s day girls? The whole posse is gone. All of them damn traveled for nothing."
Wow.
It sounds like he was there in the early 20s, and that was like the heyday. And then he said, "Where are those chicks from back then? Because they're all gone."
from the early 2000s.
They're married.
Yeah, they're married with kids.
Yeah, they. I'm hoping they paid for their college education, and
I was gonna say
now
they're probably lawyers with husbands.
yeah, they're probably attorneys and doctors now.
Probably a prosecutor in there too.
Unless it's in Guadalajara, then it's like Annie that she's been on that pole since she was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And she ain't trying to retire anytime soon.
No, she's gonna die on that pole.
All right, here's a 3-star review from Jamie, and Jamie is a unisex name, so I don't know if it's a man or woman. Jamie says, "First time there last night. It was fun until the private dances started. I booked a girl for 30 minutes for $250. She was only there for 15 because she had to pee halfway through. When questioned if she was going to continue her time, she got on the defense. Had to ask the manager for a refund. Other than that, it was a nice club. The first one in Philly I visited. Compared to some other cities, I would not visit there again." That was Jamie's review.
You had to pee.
You think that she had to pee, or she just didn't want to dance for him?
Yeah, she probably didn't want to dance for that
Yeah,
person.
that's what I was thinking when I read it. I'm like, oh, Dad.
I've never heard
that.
I've never heard a stripper say,
Excuse me, I have to pee.
I have to pee. I've never heard that, like ever. So I don't know.
When you're making $250 in 30 minutes, you think you could hold in your pee or something?
Right?
Yeah.
Hold it for another 15 minutes.
Or for an extra $50, you can pee on the guy, right? Like, that's an option?
She should have thrown that in there.
Yeah, like that's an option.
Yeah.
Might as well make it rain in your own way. All right, here's a 3-star review from ST. ST says, "The last time I was there, I was getting a couch dance by this young blonde hottie. She had her rear in my face and accidentally let out a huge fart. She was totally mortified. She even tried to give my money back afterwards, but I told her just to laugh it off and keep the money. I even bought her a drink after the dance to cheer her up. It worked. It was a total dead night. Stormy outside. We hung out the whole night and talked. Then she left me and got something to eat. She was a very nice person, and I wish her the best." That was it.
No fucking way.
I'm dying.
No fucking way, bro.
I think what's weird to me is she farted in his face and he wanted to make it better.
And he was embarrassed.
Like that's what's weird for me. Like I would have just took my money back and left for the night. But like the fact that he was like, "Oh, I just wanted to make her feel better that she farted in
Maybe he likes it.
Yeah, unless she must have been really fucking hot or something.
I don't know, guys. Like it doesn't matter how
A fart is a fart.
I know, like it doesn't matter for me if you fart in my face. We're not gonna like do anything else. Like for real, like
so even if it's 10 farts, you're not gonna let it slide.
They probably had the roast beef. That's what they're saying not to eat.
Mm.
It's just a no from me. Like I'm not into like the farting or the peeing on me.
Yeah, that would have.
No.
Bodily functions.
Yeah.
I would have had to see a manager about my getting my money back.
Like I need to speak to Delilah, please, because
I
this
need to speak to somebody.
I need to speak to Delilah right now because she just
One,
farted on me.
one of your strippers got problems. You got to
She's
be
got
taken out
bowel
of
problems.
service. One of your strippers got to be taken out of service for a while.
If you're gonna rip a fart in my face, I need to know your government name.
Nah, no way. No way you're gonna candidly fart in my face. Fuck out of here.
Coco Puff says she gave him a dirty Sanchez.
Mhm. True. No, I'm just saying, if you're gonna fry my face and you're really hot and I'm gonna let it slide,
It was probably, imagine it was one of those farts that just lingers.
That's the no. See, no.
Just lingers no matter what you try to do. The fart is like burning your eyes.
Mhm.
That's
No one's
disgusting.
ever farted in my face, by the way, so I wouldn't even know what that's like. And if they did,
It's like a close.
Have you ever had someone spit on your lap and fart on your face?
You'll need to
when
you
I
need to go to
was
Delilah's.
when I was in school, the kids when we were kids, people would sit on your lap and fart on you, whatever. But not as an adult. It's never happened to me as an adult.
Yeah, but even if it's a kid, when your friend or whoever's like sits on your lap and like farts on you and you're mortified.
Well, yeah.
Listen, unless you're wearing diapers, you're not farting on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean adult diapers. I mean like baby diapers. That would have been a good Coco moment right there.
Yeah, Coco would have been
good.
Yeah,
like
unless you're wearing a diaper, a baby diaper.
A Pampers diaper, not a Depends. Thank you.
Yes, not a Depends diaper.
All right, we got more reviews. Ready for more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this is from PBF, and they say, I was in the club Sunday night around midnight, and I looked around at the thugs, hoodlums, and gangbangers sitting on the left side of the room and decided to leave. I have no interest in being around people with torn jeans, backward hats with skulls on them, bad personal hygiene, and their girlfriends that need to start reading Vogue for style tips, not High Times magazine or Skin Ink mags. That was it.
He went for fashion.
Yeah, I'm like, I think this guy's in the wrong strip club.
I have torn jeans. I don't know. Like I think that was a little like presumptuous.
It was
He's probably someone that's used to going to high-end strip clubs where people don't wear jeans.
It's Philadelphia, sir.
Yeah, it's Philadelphia.
Expectations are way too high. You're in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not at the Lido Lounge.
Yeah, you had to drive through Kingston Avenue, Skid Row.
Right? Like you're asking for a lot. You're in Philly. There's a song about it. Okay, like Will Smith even said it was ghetto. There's a song about it.
Yes.
All right, here's the next review. 1-star review from. Oh, all right. I think okay. So there's this review, and then guess what's after this review?
It's the
the moment of truth.
After this review should be the moment of truth, but again, I haven't read it in advance. All right, so let's get through
It
this
is
one.
not the moment of truth. We'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to the moment. We're getting closer to the moment of truth. So okay, here's Matthew Water 12, and Matthew Water says 1-star review. Delilah sucks. Don't even bother wasting your time coming here to see the stank ass girls working here. They had some chunky chick on stage looking like Snooki. Get the fuck out of here. That was it.
Does he discriminate? He's discriminating against the fat chicks
and the short ones. But it's
Jim Tab laundry.
He had a grenade on stage.
It's the stink ass comment that hits me different because I know that the girl farted in the dude's face. So when he was like stink ass, I was like, that hits different.
Yeah, apparently that's not like a figure of speech or something.
No, it literally means her stanky ass.
They must have a good ass like bean dip there as an appetizer.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's like the most popular app, a bean dip.
Yeah, something. Okay, all right. So I don't think this is gonna say his occupation. However, the next review is from Triple X Beast. Are y'all ready?
All right, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay, this is a 1-star review from Triple X Beast who visited this club in Philly. And again, I have not pre-read this, so I don't know what to expect. Here it goes, y'all. Let's see. And mute your mics until we get to the end. Triple X Beast, the GOAT, he says, we were there for a guys' night. As soon as we sat down, we knew this was an awful place. The girls on stage were just walking around with very little effort into dancing. One girl came up to us and was going to buy a dance for my friend in the back, and I was going to buy a dance for my friend in the. Sorry, let me just read that again. One girl came up to us and I was going to buy a dance for my friend in the back. She started dancing on him. Next thing I know, she gets up and says that'll be $40. I said, "Excuse me?" She said that'd be for 2 songs. What a total scam. One girl was so drunk she couldn't even talk. The only good thing was the bathroom attendant. I should have stayed in the bathroom. I will never go back there and I will make sure everyone I know will not go either. So that was Triple X Beast.
So the only good thing was the bathroom attendant. I have questions about that. So was the bathroom attendant a girl or like
Well, I assume a dude because it's always a dude when I go in there.
same?
Yeah, it has to be a
That's
dude
the
if it's a
the
men's
only good
bathroom.
thing about a strip club is a guy in the bathroom. Like Jesus.
And that was Triple X Beast, so you know when.
In Triple X Beast, he loved that like Arkansas road trip
Yeah, he
club.
liked the shitty one, the shitty strip joint.
He liked the one in Cleveland that was shut down by the health department.
Yeah, that was where he found Dorothy.
Yeah, so that's crazy that he hated this because he usually loves the trifling ones.
Mhm.
All right.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to. Gina sent some more. I'm trying to see what the deal is. Hold on. Okay. Uh, okay, so I guess this is like. Okay, so I think so. Gina just sent me a new batch, and now we're gonna go to California, and then in the California reviews, we're gonna end on Triple X Beast and his occupation. So this is for a strip club in California called Tip Top Club Bar. So we're now going to Cali because we're going to end on Triple X Beast. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see. I'll try to buzz through these so we can get to Triple X Beast. This is a 4-star review from Florida Visitor. They say, I walked into the club expecting to see some hippie chicks. I didn't find any. Most of the girls were smoking hot. There was one fat chick who called herself Chloe, and she was just nasty. And she tried to sell me a lap dance by telling me that she would block the camera and make it extra dirty. Fine with me, but only with a hot chick. I watched a guy get a booty huddle or something freaking great. There was an Amazon chick named Brooklyn that made the night rock. She puts on a show for real. Got lap dances with a cutie named Bunny. I would love to tap that. There was some chick with short hair, Nikki or something. Looks like a dude. Gross. But for real, this place is 99% fun, 1% point and laugh. Great place to be if you're in the area. Just stay away from the fat one and the dude looking one. Relax and have fun. The chicks here are friendly, hot, and fun. 4 stars from Florida Visitor.
My question is, what's a booty huddle?
I
Uh,
was wondering that
that's all.
too.
That's probably like a whole like
Like
10
a group
conversation.
of them just huddling you with their booties? Like you're in the middle and all the strippers just gather around you and smother you with their booty?
Uh,
Oh, I mean that sounds about
It
right.
sounds like a booty huddle because I know what a huddle is in football. So I'm
Right.
assuming that a strip joint
maybe,
huddle.
maybe it's when maybe it's when like they put their ass in your face and then smack their cheeks in your face or some shit.
I like Captain's version better.
Yeah, I think it's when a bunch of strippers just surround you with their asses in your face. Like that's a
Mhm.
huddle.
True. All right, let's go to the next one. Hold on a second. I lost my place. Okay, next review is from Cool Dude 707, 4 stars. He says, "Well, I can say that most of the dances are hot, but there were a couple bitches. This one chick, Coral, never took her freaking top off, so she took my money and I got nothing for it. I paid to see her tits. What the hell? There were a couple of really hot chicks that made my night worth it. Go Brooklyn and Princess. You look like sisters, and that's hot. I want to do you."
Oh, that was weird.
Okay.
That sounded like y'all did y'all ever see the movie Superbad?
Hmm.
Yes,
Like the guy from Superbad wrote that review, but okay.
that was filmed here.
McLovin.
McLovin. Yeah. It sounded like he wrote that, but okay.
Okay, here's a 1 star review from Nathaniel. He says, it's one sentence long. It says, "They took the money I put in front of me without giving me anything, bitches." Uh, let me plow through these. Dope Boy 19, 3 star review. He says, "Since this is the only strip club around, I have to give some compliments to Tip Top. I wish they left out the bar and kept the dancers nude. Sorry. I wish they left out the bar and kept the dancers nude on the stage. No nude dancers in an establishment that serves alcohol is just another stupid California law. It ain't a strip club if they ain't showing pussy. The $5 cover before 9 p.m. is a good price. I will return, but the strippers need to hone their skills." That's it.
They gotta show pussy.
No, that's good Lord. I was raised in the church. That was a lot.
Okay. I see a triple X beast.
No snatch, no cash.
Okay, I see a triple X beast review, but I'm still not sure if this is the occupation.
No,
This isn't an occupation one yet.
no, no. We're almost there. We're almost at the home stretch.
We're almost at the home run, and then we could end it. Okay, this is the triple X review, but it's not the occupation review. But nevertheless, mute your mics because it's triple X beast, and we don't want to miss a word. This is a 2 star review. This is the club in California. He says, "I was there for a bachelor party, bought bottle service, had our private dancer come back. She was hammered. I threw about $40 onto the bachelor. She came up, pulled the money off him, barely danced on him like 4 seconds, literally, then went back to the pole and fell over. When I asked where the dance was, she called me cheap. Then she said I was joking when she noticed I didn't like that. I then bought the bachelor a dance. He came back shocked, said the stripper had no pasties. No, oh no, no, sorry. He came back shocked, said the stripper had on pasties. No nipples. What the fuck? Best part of the night was the limo ride home because we bought bottle service. Bartenders were awesome. Drunk strippers, not so much.
So
That's
private dances with pasties at a bachelor.
California?
Where were they?
yeah, Cali. I guess they had on.
And she was drunk. What's the name of this place?
Uh,
Tip top.
Tip Top.
Tip top with no tips out, no nips out. Okay.
Yeah, tip top with no top with tops on.
With tops on and pasties. What? It sounds like it's a strip club owned by nuns.
Mm.
What the fuck?
Yeah, shut them down.
True. Okay, there was that, and then I'm just going through what I'm sent. So this is Taboo Gentlemen's Club. So Gina, is this the one that tells the occupation, or is there one more after Taboo's Gentlemen's
There's
Club?
one more after that will
Okay, so
say
there's
it.
one.
So
Okay,
I just got triple X piece one. That's it.
okay, so here's a Triple X's review for Taboo's Gentlemen's Club. Do you remember where? Oh, is that in California too? Taboo's.
In Anaheim.
Okay, this is Anaheim, California, Taboo's Gentlemen's Club, Triple X Beast review, but this is not yet the occupational review. So just one more after this. Hang in there, folks. All right. The Triple X Beast review, 2 stars, mute your mics. He says, "I went there on a Saturday afternoon. You probably shouldn't make that mistake. There are only 4 girls working. One of them was doubling as a waitress, but here's the kicker. She was prego, not my cup of tea. One of the other dancers sat down to talk to me, and she had breath that could peel off wallpaper. I'm not talking regular bad breath, but periodontal disease bad breath. I guess the other two girls were just average. One of them did the splits on stage while she was naked. I think that's why I gave them 2 stars. The DJ played about 20 minutes worth of break songs every hour. I thought my admission fee was to see girls naked on stage, not to listen to bad techno music. As a veteran of gentlemen's clubs, I realized that A Team wouldn't be on stage in the afternoon, but if you're going to open, at least have enough girls to keep the action going. I may return, but this time at night. 2 stars from Triple X Beast.
Oh my God,
Let's start with the- I'm gonna have
where
to
do I
read the-
begin? Where do I begin with
I'm
that?
gonna have to read the bad breath part again.
Periodontal disease is where you got me.
Yeah, he gave away his occupation
I
with
think
periodontal
He's
disease.
a dentist.
I think he's a dentist, guys. I think he's.
Okay, well, we
Yeah,
haven't got to
He's a traveling dentist now, eh?
Well, hold on.
yeah.
I want to read the first half of it again because I had some gems in there. Let me this time, y'all could like interject. Y'all could laugh at this time because let me read the first half, okay? Because I feel like there were some gems in there. Let me reread it the first half. It says, I went there on a Saturday afternoon. You probably shouldn't make that mistake. There were only 4 girls working. One of them was doubling as a waitress, but here's the kicker. She was prego, not my cup of tea. One of the other dancers sat down to talk to me, and she had bad breath that could peel off wallpaper. I'm not talking regular bad breath, but periodontal disease bad breath. I guess the other two girls were just average. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's it. Pretty much. Long story long, they had horrible bad breath.
How far along pregnant are we talking? Are we
We're talking about your 36 weeks?
I don't know. Like Jasmine at the tell all pregnant.
right? Like, how far along are we talking here? Because
Oh my God, dancing, stripping while pregnant?
yeah, and also doubling as the waitress because they're short staffed.
Oh Lord, have mercy. A pregnant stripper with bad breath.
Pregnant. Well, I'm not even going to say the W word. I'm not going to refrain from that.
I'm gonna say what?
I was going to say a pregnant what Rob called Jasmine. I'm not going to say that. I don't discriminate. Yeah.
A pregnant whore with bad breath. There, Gina, I said it.
Well, we don't know that she was pregnant with someone's baby other than her baby daddy or boyfriend. We don't know. She might not be a whore. She might just be at work.
I ain't going to discriminate against someone getting money. So, you know.
True. Yeah, when he said I'm a veteran of gentlemen's clubs, I was like, no shit, Sherlock.
We got a whole show dedicated to you.
Like half an hour or an hour a show to you, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so we have like I guess there's two more triple X visaries in the
That's where the kickers are.
The way is does the second to last one say his occupation or the last one?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. So there's 2 reviews left and they both say his occupation and I haven't read them in advance. So y'all ready?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll mute.
Okay, mute your mics because this is like the money shot, like the jizz shot. This one's pretty long though. Here, I'll tell you this though. They're both the reviews I'm about to read. They're both like 5 out of 5-star reviews. So they're glowing reviews. Y'all ready? Let's do this.
And they're both in Cali. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. They're both in California.
Okay. All right. This is where we're gonna find out what he does for a living, and I haven't read this in advance, and it's 5 stars. And mute your mics, and I'll try not to fuck this up. And let me actually, you know what? Let me take a sip of water because this is very serious and important. This is like reading. This is like introducing the president. Hold on. Okay, I had my sip of water. All right, here goes. This is the long one, and then the other one's shorter. 5-star review from Triple X Beast, which unveils his occupation, which we've been waiting like several hours for. Ready? Here we go. Okay. I went to the Condor Club on this past Monday, and I was absolutely blown away.
First off, they had a gigantic pole where there was a stripper who climbed all the way to the top and literally walked on the ceiling and wall. It was amazing. After which, there was a classy cabaret show with a fucking rocking live jazz band. So great. Not only were the women extremely sexy, they were also funny and interesting. It was like each girl had an image to portray. The belly dancer rocking was amazing. Never seen anyone move like her. Kinder had amazing costumes and outfits. Astrid was absolutely alluring. Frankie had this beautiful steampunk sort of look to her and was an amazing short-haired beauty. They gave away prizes. They had funny skits in between. This club was an experience that I will never forget. On top of that, I'm in the Navy, and I was hoping to show my other friends in town for Fleet Week the show. Even though he said it was in not a monthly thing, their manager Mark told us to give him a call and he would get as many of the girls together that he could to put on another show. I was blown away by the level of customer service by someone who really cared. I love this place and will miss it when I leave. Please do yourself a favor and check this place out. End review. So, Navy.
What?
So he's
No
basically
way.
like Liz's
No
boyfriend.
way.
I'm floored.
No, there's no way the military gonna take him around to all those states. In the Navy?
The Navy, I thought was about water. He's going.
You think you just go to like the sea, like seas, like water places like San Diego and shit.
Yeah, so
Yeah, no, that's
because a lot of these places are
crazy.
not along the ocean.
Yeah.
So, but I guess a lot of these places are along the ocean.
That's a little too.
I.e.,
Nah.
California borders the ocean. I mean, I was wrong, y'all. I was wrong.
Nah, I was wrong too. I would have never guessed the Navy.
I mean, he's basically like Liz's ex, right?
Yeah, he could be Liz's ex, actually. Wouldn't it be crazy if it's Jay? Jay's ex, triple X beast, and that's why they broke up because he couldn't stop going to strip clubs.
That would be like the funniest thing on the planet.
Yeah, but he has to be like an older person because to cover all those states, it just doesn't make any sense. The Navy traveling so much on land.
So apparently we have, and again, I don't want to like ruin your train of thought. We do have one more review, which also reiterates his occupation. So we still have to read the final review too. So should we get to that?
Yeah, it's short.
Yeah, let's get to that.
Okay, let's get to that. It's short, but now we know he's in the Navy, and all of a sudden I have new respect for seamen. No Diddy. Get it? Anyway. Okay, mute your mics. This is a shorter Triple X Beast review where he mentions his occupation. It's a 5-star review, and now we know what he does for a living, but we're going to get more information, hopefully. Triple X Beast, he says, the staff is friendly and knows their products. If one person doesn't, they will gladly trade places with someone who knows more about what you want. The music is always on point and adds more upbeat feel to the place. They have a good range of everything from kink to vanilla and all in between. And you can get discounts for being a couple, 2 people together, and military. Gotta love that. Okay, I guess that's it, the whole review. But yeah, so long story long, he's in the military, he's in the Navy.
I feel so cheated. I thought it would be something more.
I did say a while back before even knowing sounds like a federal employee.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking more military army than military.
Milton.
I mean, I know we all thought it was a pilot, so that would almost go to like Air Force or something.
Yeah, I would have been okay with Air Force because it would have been, my theory would have made sense because he's always all over the place. Because he's been to Texas, he's been to Florida, he's been to Louisiana, he's been to Ohio,
Arkansas.
A lot of these places are landlocked. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just too much land. It's too much land for him to be in these places. What position in the Navy would put you on
He
land so
could be a
much.
recruitment officer.
Ah, there you go.
Maybe, yeah.
There you go. He could be. They could be moving him around from recruit office to recruit office.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking up.
I mean, like, and again, normally I would have no interest in talking to Jay, but I would almost like be like, "Hey, Jay, we don't have to talk about Liz, but I want you to come on and say, as a Navy guy, do y'all have a lot of opportunities at the strip clubs or what?"
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, recruitment, because that's the only thing that would make sense. He's going to different recruitment offices where they, people sign up for the Navy
Like
and just
college
talking.
towns.
Yeah, college towns when they have that recruitment period where they go from town to town just looking for people to sign up. So that would make more sense. He's probably a recruiter for the Navy.
Mhm.
That would make sense.
Yeah, well, I've heard stories of those seamen, like they're pretty freaky.
No, I mean, if you're on a ship for X amount of times, once the what they call it, the Fleet Week comes in. I remember working down in the city during Fleet Week when in New York City when those ships used to come in, and they were all over the place. Everywhere you looked, they were in their little white uniforms and the clubs everywhere.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, they 6 months on a ship will do a lot of freaky shit to you when you get off.
Yeah, Fleet Week becomes Freak Week.
Free becomes Free Week real quick.
True.
Yeah.
I feel like if we keep the podcast popping, he's eventually going. Though I feel like the work
Pop up.
get back to him.
Yeah, it's gonna get back to him. That would be great for him to come on.
Yeah, it's like
Talk to us about his experiences. But anywho, I think
well,
that's
hopefully that was like a good enough
it's
good enough what's the word, like the payoff or whatever.
well, it wasn't as exciting as I thought it'd be, but I'll take that.
Mhm.
I'll take that answer
It's
over.
only not exciting because you were wrong.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought it was.
Yeah.
You know what? When I was picturing him always like a dirty truck driver with a flannel shirt on
Yeah, I
and
was
a
so,
beat up hat.
like if he's in the Navy, he has to be in like half decent shape, right, or something.
Yeah, he has to be in good shape at
He,
all times. And
so
very clean.
I was picturing like the guy who wrote like the Lord of the Rings books and shit.
When we were saying a truck driver, I was picturing him as a truck driver, like a lot lizard type truck driver.
Like
And then when
like
you said pilot, then I started picturing him as a pilot with his little wings on his shoulders, hopping from club to club.
yeah, like
So wait, do you guys think that he's like good looking or ugly?
I want to
I
say
don't
he's
know.
probably like in his 40s, late 40s, probably.
honestly, like he probably again like it's gonna sound weird, but like he probably looks like Jay, well, like an older version of Jay or something.
No, he probably, I would say, he's in the middle, late to mid 40s, and he's probably like probably all tatted up, like maybe like Sean with all the tats all over and stuff, military tats,
Oh,
clean cut,
Baby
buzz cut,
cat.
yeah, with a buzz cut.
I don't know. I don't know what to think now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like whatever is in our head, if we actually saw him, we would be like disappointed or something.
Well, I'll probably be wrong, just like I was wrong about his career. Like
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
trying
just
to picture in my head what he would look like, and I can't figure it
You know
out.
what's crazy? I got two nephews in the Navy. So, but I'm gonna ask them about Navy life.
Well, yeah.
Navy strip club life.
Get that
Imagine if one of them is
conversation.
my nephew, if XXV's
Oh
my
my.
nephew. He'd be like, "Yeah, that's me. How'd you find me?"
we got to get a like Navy guy on here to interview him about like how often he has the opportunity at the strip club.
Well, that's another thing that I'm wondering. It's like, how do they have so much free time? Or is he? You think maybe he's what do you call it when you're like in the reserve where you're not like full time? Is that called the reserve? Where you only work?
But I think the Navy recruiter makes more sense because you're only working during the day when you're recruiting. You got a lot of free time at night.
Yeah, that's true. maybe he will be on
I
night.
mean, and I guess that would make sense because as a recruiter, you have to have a very like extroverted, outgoing personality, and that's the same personality that like,
And you got to go into all these, into all these towns.
yeah, and he knows how to operate with women and knows how to write good reviews. He's a good writer. He's funny, so that helps in like recruitment and shit.
Yeah. Yep. So he's probably a Navy recruiter.
Probably instead of, I mean,
He's definitely not on no ship.
instead of Top
Wow.
Gun, I'm sure he's ran into a couple Top Guns. Get it?
Top cunts.
Gunt for the people at home.
I don't know what
Yeah.
that is. I don't know what a gunt is.
I don't either.
A gunt is like it's in between your gut and your cunt is your gunt.
Oh, I've never heard that.
I've never heard that. That sounds like a made up word, Shabooty.
No, if you look on Urban Dictionary, it's on there probably 1,000 likes. Anyway,
Oh, someone asked, are you able to respond to his reviews? Like, can you click reply?
No,
To
I
no.
can't.
so we
I can't even click on the name. It's not like a Google review. It's a
If
website.
he's in the military, he's gonna play his identity close to the
Gina,
chest.
have you looked on social media sites and tried to use the term XXX Beast to see if he has?
Yes.
Oh, you have. Okay.
You don't think I have?
I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
just.
If he's in the military, he's not gonna expose his true
Yeah,
identity.
you're right. You're so right.
He's not gonna expose his
Oh,
true identity. That could get him into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So
And we don't want to get him into trouble.
How are we
definitely
supposed to find him? That's my thing. Like, how are we supposed to find him?
We're
He'll
not
find
supposed to.
us.
He'll find us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No long as we keep churning out these episodes, he'll find us.
All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, this is probably one of our longest episodes, right? Because it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's ask Reddit. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta head out. It was a great podcast as usual. Everybody have a good weekend. And I'm signing off.
Okay. Oh, we'll be right behind you, but after we do a more formal sign off. But thank you. No, yeah. So this is a great. I agree. Got me co-sign Captain, and yeah, this was a great episode. It was extra long, but I feel like we needed it because there's a lot of bullshit in there.
Yeah, it was a good episode and it was fun. And now we know that XXX Beast is in the Navy. And
Oh, don't be bitter. You're just mad because you weren't.
it just wasn't what I was thinking. Is it weird that I didn't realize that the nope, I'm not even gonna say it. I'll say it later. I'll say it offline. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna say it later.
True. Well, all of a sudden, I have a newfound respect for the Navy.
Same. Same.
So, all right. Well, thank you. I know people are already messaging me that were listening live earlier, and they say, Shabooty, when you upload the episode tomorrow, like hurry up and upload it like earlier in the day than later, and I'll try to. I know it's in high demand for people to listen to the recording.
Yeah, for the people that didn't listen live, they're gonna be very surprised. Very, very surprised.
Yes. Yes. I can't wait to hear the feedback and the notes on that.
Yeah, and thank you for Loren for hopping on. It was exciting to hear from you again. And it's always exciting to get the latest updates in your crazy ass life.
Yeah, he's living nowhere at the moment. It's always crazy to hear what is going on with him.
Yeah, so hopefully the Loren interview was good. I know it wasn't as crazy as the first time when he had those crazy stories with crazy people like all across the world with weird shit going on, but I feel like it was still a nice update catching up with him.
It was. It was fun. This was fun, guys. I'm thank you so much, everybody, for staying up late with us and having fun with us. This made my day.
True. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. This is like our outlet to, relieve the stress. So thank you, everyone. This was 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a
Friday. It's now
Friday
into Saturday. And this,
Saturday.
thank you, everyone. And I'll put this on Apple, Spotify tomorrow. And thank you, everyone. And peace and love and support us on Patreon. And much love. Thank you. I guess that's it.
That's it.
Peace.
night.
Bye.